No wait, no, I already had the level 1s. I had 4 level 1 spells before. Oh wait, I get a third level 3.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can choose which ones what you have of each, because you can swap one lower level out with the higher level.
Yeah.
By the way, we're live, so just so you're aware.
Potatoes.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
Tomatoes.
Who the fuck says potatoes?
No one. It was in a song one time. Tomatoes, tomatoes, potatoes, potato.
Those damn
was made
old
up.
elderly comedians and their
It was made up
nonsense.
just for the song.
Alright, so, hello everybody and welcome to the Dawn Seekers. You may notice a new addition, if you can see that properly. That is the Shrouded Chalier sign that they did want. So that is the tavern that they currently own. A quick view of the tavern that they currently own is this butte right here. This is the main entrance in, their back area, their upstairs is here, their basement is there, and this is their other basement connecting to this for a fighting pit later on. So, yes. So, hello and welcome. I am here currently with my players, Sudz.
Hello.
Sam.
Hello.
Simon.
Hello.
Infernal.
Hello.
And Will.
Hello.
I hate you, Chris.
Harlan will be here soon. Harlan, he's having difficulty with trains, because trains are great. I like trains.
I like trains.
So yeah, he's having difficulty with that, but he will be here soon. So don't worry about that. You may or may not have understood the conversation that was just had between myself and what was Ghaakt revealing just then. My party will be leveling up at some point soon, so that should be good. So yes, they're preparing for that event. A few announcements to start off. First of all, thank you to Zenosa for all the hard work you've put in. We now have a new tile, along with a few others as well. But this is the main one I'm going to show you, because the party's not going to fight it anytime soon, but they've seen it, and it's cool. Right. So yes, thank you to Zenosa for that. The tavern sign has also been done by her, so thank you very much for that. That was kind of a rush job. I asked for it to be done for this week, and it was a little bit short notice, but it all got done in the end, which is good. Also, thank you to Tabletop Audio. You are a great service. Keep on doing what you do, and keep on updating. You're a great service, and you're doing all us DMs a favour by making a free service for us to use. Thank you to Dungeon Player Studio for allowing me to make maps like this. And also thank you to Incarnate for allowing me to make maps like this. I believe that is all my notices, other than Harlan will be joining us again soon. So, without further ado, let's get into this session today. So, last session, our party of adventurers, Sasha, Queglod, Elsyan, Bhold, Malcom, and Ghaakt spent their time improving their home and performing around the city jobs, helping out where they could, lifting rubble, breaking up fights, and doing what they needed to do to make the city a safer and a better place. The main highlight was a speech in the centre of town, where Malcom spoke to the people about standing together and not fighting amongst themselves or against the Cathedral of Light. With the dramatic finish, the crowd seemed to have taken it well and proceeded to go back about their business, their name now known as the Dawn Seekers. With some time to themselves, the party now proceeded to take some time off and finish up in town before heading off. And so we pick up with what took place during the time skip that took place. So, during this time, we had... Let me just get some basic music on here for you all. Hurdy-gurdy. Gotta love it. So, while you were all busy with your time skip. I believe I said I would begin with you first, Ghaakt.
Mm-hmm.
So, during this time, other than going and dealing with the, going for the interviews for the barkeeper and the guards, did you want to be there for the second one?
For the second card?
For the guards, yes, on the second day.
No, I'm good for that. I'm fine with that. I'll just be there for the bartender.
With the bartender, okay. So, what is it exactly you did on the first and the second day?
On the first and the second day, I'm searching for places around town that sell sheet music, or at least collect it.
Okay. Looking around town, you make a little bit of adventure. You have 2 days to do so, so you do look around and see what you can find. Quite a few shops have been ruined from the previous attack, and they seem to be being rebuilt, and stock seems to be not too great. You do find one very secluded shop. The outside of it seems to have a sign which has a trombone and a trumpet going, kind of crossing on the front of it, and a small glass kind of front to the store with a nice-looking doorway and nice-looking doorway that seems partially ajar at this time. You head inside, you have a look around, you can see what looks to be a fairly, I wouldn't say elderly, because they still look quite spry, but an older-looking elven individual. The individual in question has a variety of instruments around the establishment and seems to have an entire rack dedicated to what look to be scroll cases containing what you would assume to be sheet music. After asking about, you proceed to look through some of it. He offers you a few songs and offers you some of the better pieces for around about 20 gold apiece. Did you care to buy any?
I may, but I also have some inquiries to make.
Okay. What are those inquiries?
This shop is pretty much, well, this city is probably the closest you can get to the Fractured Belt. So I was wondering if anyone came down here, possibly from the Bard College, selling cursed hymns?
From what the individual knows, they haven't heard of any particular details regarding any music that has caused such an effect. There have been, it has been known that there are some magical items that have caused some dangerous effects. You've seen one in action. You vaguely remember Elsyan using it. Actually, no, you weren't there, were you? No, this is when, no, you were, Elsyan, you were separate from that, weren't you? This was when you were, dealing with the crowd with
Queglod.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have no idea about that. So ignore what I said. But
I normally do.
yeah, but you, I'm talking to Ghaakt there. But yeah, going about, you don't find any cursed music. The individual doesn't seem to know of any, other than saying there have been cursed items in the past that have done some kind of cursed hymn, as it were. But there are potentially some about, and if you're looking for that kind of thing, you might want to try one of the more major cities, where Adamanthia is generally quite a big hub for commercial side of things. It doesn't get much airship travel due to its location. If you're looking for airship travel, you'd be looking at going to somewhere such as Voradun or Kionendir. Those two cities are particular hubs, so there and on the big map. Those two cities there that I currently have partially highlighted, Voradun and Kionendir, are two of the main cities that receive airship travel, with obviously Oregon, the capital, being the exception. That gets quite a lot of traffic as well.
So at least one of them seems to be on the way to the big Dracula castle.
So with those three being the main kind of hub for airship travel, he recommends that if you're looking for somewhere from the Fractured Belt, those three are the probably best place to look. Adamanthia has seen airship travel in the past, but it doesn't have anywhere dedicated to it. Usually, either airships will be waterborne, which then become airborne, or they are housed within aerial dockyards. And Adamanthia isn't in the correct location to be able to benefit from that kind of trade easily, due to its more isolated nature from most other cities.
Alright. Thank you for your time, and think I'll buy some of that sheet music. See, where's my gold at?
Okay. So it's 20 gold a piece.
That's how much is that in GP? That just 20?
That's 20 per, yeah.
All right,
So 20 per full set of sheet music.
cool. I spend it.
So how many do you buy?
Just the one.
Just the one? Okay. You buy a song which you can probably play. It fits your instrument. It's a little bit out of your comfort zone. The lyrics for the song are relatively upbeat and kind of pleasant, from what you can immediately tell from the surface of reading into the lyrics of the hymn, and the notes seem to have more of a contrast to the actual words of the music itself. But it's worth a try, and it's worth seeing what you can do with that. Would you like to spend your second day practicing that kind of music?
Yes.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check with advantage because you have the sheet music with you.
Bollocks.
With advantage, so you roll the second one as well. You take the higher.
Hates me.
Um,
You guys hate me. I've never rolled good in my entire life.
you try and proceed to understand a bit better the nature of the music, but as you try to play it, some of the notes don't seem to merge together as you might like them to. You try and set the tunings right on your instrument, and over the course of the day you try your best to try and learn portions of it. You get some small chunks down, but connecting them all together seems to be a very difficult task due to the complexity of the music itself. Alright, so over the course of your 2 days you proceed to do that. Next, Simon or Queglod.
Yes.
What do you do during your first and then your second day? And which of the interviews would you like to go to?
I would like to go to both interviews, so I
Both.
don't want.
Okay.
Don't want Bhold left alone for the guards.
Don't know what could possibly go wrong with that.
Everything.
So
What do you mean?
So
during the first day, what do you proceed to do?
for the first day, I'm going to spend the whole day in the library.
Okay.
Like that. Other than like food breaks or whatever.
Yeah. So going to the library.
Mhm.
You proceed to research for what you can, trying to find information on the topic at hand that you're particularly looking for, a way to better your enchantment skills in your particularly refined area that you're looking for. I'd like you to make me a intelligence check, please. This would just be a regular intelligence check. Okay.
Lucky.
Total?
That's
I should say this will
Total
probably be
is
investigation with this, actually.
investigation. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's +5, so
So
22.
Looking over all of the books and looking through the different aspects of it, a lot of them seem to go into details on how to enchant things with higher level spells. The different kinds of ingredients you'll need, the catalysts, the different bits and pieces you can put together to make the enchantment work. What you're looking for, however, isn't really mentioned in most of the books. Going through and flicking through the books, you spend most of the next 6 hours going through, and none of it seems to be great from what you can tell. None of it seems to hit home with what you're looking for. And then you come across a single gemstone within this pile of books. You open up one book and you begin to flick through, and it mentions the abnormalities in enchanting. Using your own powers and the powers of others, and utilizing different pieces of creatures to benefit your abilities further. To use very specialized catalysts, not to enhance a spell, but to enhance and force the occurrence of an effect. They speak of doing things such as taking the scales of a dragon to force fire resistance and thereby potential immunity without the use of a spell, allowing a low-end spellcaster to create a very powerful item if they gain access to the right materials. You also learn of particular other creatures that can be used in different ways. The flesh of an aboleth can be used to possess a corpse and allow you to perfectly control it. You learn of some strange familiars that allow you to conjure an animal at will that will stay in your possession until you wish to dispel it or it's destroyed. Strange items and occurrences that usually could potentially be achieved by a spell, but to an enhanced effect. Being able to overcome certain kind of binary barriers to spells, being able to overcome the spell limit. And it goes into detail on how different creatures can be used and how, depending on the piece that you're using per effect, can lead to different experiences. This leads you to believe that, due to the nature of what you're aiming for, there are very particular creatures that you would be looking for to achieve this.
Okay.
And that is what I have, and that is what you come to the conclusion of. What strength of foe you'll need is undetermined, but it is a potential that you can use going forward.
All right then. Yes. I also want to look up the amber grin as well.
Okay.
At some point.
Looking through the library, you don't need to make a roll for this. Looking through the library, there doesn't seem to be anything mentioning the Amber Grin. History books don't tell of an organization known as the Amber Grin. There's no symbolism to it. There's nothing. There is nothing referencing the Amber Grin in any similar way as you file through books. There are a few books which do speak of the Alliance and how they've got various mercenaries that work for them, often adopting some kind of persona or title which they can then use to spread fear. But there isn't any mention of the Amber Grin. There isn't a mention of any of them. And from your general understanding, this either means that, one, the names aren't mentioned for a good reason, and their notoriety is kept hidden, secret, or banished away. Or they just don't record them down, because it's irrelevant and it's a fleeting moment as an organization may be killed or destroyed at any moment.
Alright then.
You spend the better part of the rest of your first day looking through, and then the second day you proceed to start kind of sifting through them. You get about halfway through the day before the interview comes into play, and you have the rest of the day if you wish to do anything else. Such as practicing enchantment or something.
I can do a little practice. Yeah, I'm not looking to spend much money on practicing at the moment, but I'll try and do a little and see if I can look into ways of working in what I've found out more recently.
Okay. Going about what you're doing, you proceed to take your remaining enchanting materials and you begin to push spells in and out of the gemstones. You proceed to move and utilize the magic around their particular way, and you begin to understand the better nature of it. You then proceed to try and find something to aid in a form of extracting some form of magical assistance. What would you like to try and use as the temporary catalyst?
I'll need... That is a good question. I'll need some animal parts, I guess. Can I try and get I don't know, maybe if I can go out into town and look for I don't know what sorts of animal parts I'd be able to find, but maybe
There'd be several crows around town. You're a bit far from the shore to find seagulls. Crows, pigeons, rats, mice. Most of those you can find in the back alley. On the streets, you'd be lucky to find anything other than maybe a pigeon.
Okay. Alternatively, there's more of a proof of concept thing. If there's any like butchers around,
yeah, there would be a few
any,
butchers.
Like, waste cuts of meat, maybe like pig snouts.
Okay, yeah,
Pigs having fairly strong sense of smell.
Okay,
I might try and
yeah
see if that's something that I can replicate.
Okay, make an investigation check for me then, please. As you look around town, see if you can find a worthy position for a butcher's. Okay, easy enough.
30.
You look around, looking through bits and pieces and moving around town. It seems that quite a lot of the establishments are currently using the food to kind of feed the people as they try and set up the establishment and the
Right.
economy again. However, during this time, you also find a relatively old butcher individual, relatively kind of short and stout, kind of a thick belly to him, wearing a greasy apron, few spatters of blood over it. And you watch as he's giving out meat and stuff, he seems to be measuring them in almost like a hog's head, as a general measurement, like a dried out, skinned hog's head.
Okay.
And as you proceed to investigate around the back, you can see that there are a few what look to be tattered and destroyed old dried hogsheads that seem to have either broken or worn away enough that they're being currently thrown out or destroyed. There seems to be a rat currently chewing on the old leather of one of them.
All right. If there's any in particularly fairly good condition, I might try and.
Snout-wise, you
grab
do. One of them does seem to have a little bit of a snout. It seems to have a hole near where the snout exit is, and that's probably why it was thrown away. But the rat is currently chewing on a different bit and just currently tearing it apart.
Okay, as long as it's relatively intact, I'm sure it suits my purposes.
Okay. Moving forward to
Not too
claim.
long dead.
Yeah. Moving forward to claim the other hogshead from it. The rat grabs its current one and scurries off further down the alleyway behind another set of bins and proceeds to. You can hear the chewing and tearing from there. You take the hogshead and you take it back home.
Okay. So yeah, with that, I'll look into trying to create an enchantment that might provide an enhanced sense of smell for someone.
Go ahead and make the enchanting tools check for me. That's a +5, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
that's-
With a good amount of practice and the general understanding of a natural aspect of pigs having relatively good smell, you proceed to extract what you can, breaking the portions of it down to try and extract the magic from it. It being a relatively old hogshead and it being dried and previously used in a different manner, the nature of the enchantment seems to be a little bit fuddled, and you don't know what to make of it. As you store it in the crystal, you take a moment to kind of try and understand what the nature of the spell is. Looking through the enchantment as you begin to examine it and analyze it, with the remainder of the time that you have left in the day, you get the understanding that what it currently has drawn from it is a sense of smell. It seems to have also acquired some kind of sense of finding and locating, and appetite. And these three seem to be almost conflicting with one another, never allowing a single enchantment to be embedded at once, with multiple effects competing for some kind of position, almost.
Okay, so is there the potential of refining the enchantment as I have it here?
You can attempt to do so, yeah.
Okay.
That would be so you'd be attempting to remove one of the effects.
Yeah, the
Okay.
if I can remove the appetite effect, try and
Okay.
cancel that out.
Okay. If you'd like to go ahead and make a check for me then, please, with the enchanter's tools. Okay.
Be 21 total.
You successfully do so. By continuing to concentrate on it, you begin to try and find the different strands, and as you find what seems to be some kind of main portion of the enchantment, you begin to tear it away from the crystal, drawing it out. The other bits that are still attached begin to try and pull at it, trying to either pull it in or follow it. And as you begin to separate it, you pull it away. The enchantment itself of the appetite breaking away from the portion of the rest of it. You found that the process itself was extremely difficult, and you kind of feel like this, because it's kind of a weaker enchantment, that you might have been quite lucky to acquire such a easy victory over this. You're not
Right.
entirely sure how it would go with the other two, but the other two at this point begin competing. And there's kind of ebbs and flows of which one's winning at any one time, and it proceeds that they continue combating for the single enchantment space that's available. If you wish to go ahead and remove the other one, you can go ahead and do so.
Mm.
Or you can leave it till
They're
later.
yeah, one is smell and one is
One
finding.
is smell, one is location, yeah. So the sense of smell, just to enhance the smell, and the other one is the ability to locate things, so being able to find an object you're looking for.
Okay, well. Okay, I've already certainly learned a lot about this. Since I wouldn't have thought you could get an effect like that from something like this. But, okay, even though that's the thing I was going for initially, I'm going to try and remove the smell effect as well.
So you're going to remove the smell effect and leave the locating effect.
If I can, because the location thing's more useful.
Okay.
It's more interesting to get an effect like that that's not directly linked to what I used.
Okay. Go ahead and make the check for me then, please. Okay.
19.
This time, as you begin to try and pull the enchantment from it again, both of them seem to clash, and they both seem to pull with one another, almost entwined in a tangle and a mess of the enchanting threads. Do you continue trying to extract one?
No, I'm going to stop doing that, and I might try and see if I can find a connection between the two and sever that.
Okay.
I can make it easier to, because I don't want to rip it apart.
Okay. Make me a general intelligence check for this then, please.
Anyways. That'd be plus
Plus 2.
2. Yeah, no.
You begin to try and analyze it, but they're so difficultly weaved together that they seem to be conflicting almost too much. You begin to think there might be ways of removing them. You're not entirely sure what, but it will require a little bit of innovation. And with time running out on this second day, you feel like, I'll try and figure something out. Maybe tomorrow I'll have a spark of inspiration.
Yeah, I'll try and leave this thing intact for now.
Yeah, and as you leave the enchantment, it rests within the crystal, both sides fighting it out, currently in a form of equality. So, with your one done, Bhold or Malcom, who would like to go first?
Well, our first thing is together, isn't it?
Yes, well actually that's a good point, both of them together. So, during the first day, you both wanted to go and see, you wanted to go see Rahal and then see Gen.
Yeah, we both wanted to see Gen. I just wanted to talk to Rahal first.
Okay, so we'll start with you then we'll pick up with both of you.
Okay.
So, on the first day, the sounds of the construction of the basement are finished, and by the sounds of it, you, with your general understanding, the individuals who will be digging the tunnel to your basement will be finished probably by late evening into early nighttime. You proceed to head down into the Undercity via your usual method, going through the regular tavern entrance and heading down in. As you make your way down into the Undercity itself, you see all manner of individuals. Gen's currently not on duty because he doesn't start till around about 9 p.m. And you head down and you find the main gate to where Rahal is. Currently, you see the guards are currently stationed outside quite heavily again. Still, what would you like to do?
I'd like to try and enter.
Okay.
Or see if I can.
As you speak to them, they proceed to say that they're to wait here. About 5-10 minutes pass, and then eventually you're let in. You pass in through the main doorway and you go on inside, and you can see Rahal is there. She looks freshly awakened. Seems that she doesn't mind being disturbed by the looks of it, but she has been woken up to speak to you.
Oof. Hello. I came to see if you had happened to gather any more information about the attack.
Well, from what we know so far, the Amber Grin organization from the Alliance attacked the city, and that there are a few other individuals involved, but we don't know any names, we don't know anything of that sort. They're being quite uptight with it, and quite a few of them have found ways to keep themselves shut in, despite our best efforts.
Unfortunate. I just wanted to see if I could figure out their full intentions for attacking the city, because I wasn't entirely sure if we were the only reasons why they attacked.
Well, they've attacked in previous years, or someone has attempted to, tried to bring down the Undercity itself, but a main city attack is new and different, which suggests that they're meaning more with these attacks. They have an intent to them. We don't know what, but we'll find out, and I'll get Tiak to send you a message when he finds out.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I also wanted to ask you one more thing. How are things going with Gen and Bessie?
With Gen and Bessie, obviously, let's just say word was let out about her. Due to that nature of things, Gen has had to relocate Bessie. She is alive and well, but she has been relocated. As a result, Gen has taken a significant amount of leave, and we are now finding new bartenders to take his place.
That's unfortunate. Well, thank you very much for your time.
She gives a nod. You proceed to leave, and you head out back into the Undercity. Waiting around, you meet Bhold in the Under Tavern. He's currently sat there having a nice drink to himself, as Gen comes on duty.
Gen, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you as well. So, what can I get you? Looking for some early morning drinks, or looking for something else?
Well, I was coming to talk to you about Bessie, but I heard from Rahal about her.
Yeah, she's been relocated. She's living more in the underground now, the deeper underground, rather than the surface. Means I won't be so close to her, but at least she's able to run around a bit more. She'll come when called. The only issue will be that now I don't need to feed her anything. She'll hunt it on her own, and if she finds something particularly dangerous, there's a chance that she'll kind of looks down and like licks his lips. And anyway, yeah, she'll be okay though. And who knows? Maybe she'll find a mate down there. Maybe I'll have more Bessies.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, you don't want to see them when they're pups. They're a real mess, burning everything to the ground.
I bet. I also wanted to ask you if you've heard any rumors about anything near the mountain.
What, the closest ones to the east?
Yes.
Well, I heard that southward of the mountains there was a spider's nest. From recent days, though, apparently there have been sightings of smoke rising from that general location. There's an orc camp to the north, from what I know. Orc ogre camp there, currently fighting for territory. And there was a group of goblins that had hijacked the mountainside, but since then, apparently they've disappeared. Not entirely sure why, but that's what I've heard rumour-wise. Some of the boys were talking about it when they got back from their job and duty. Mountainside themselves seems fairly silent these days. Not really much moving around up there. You don't get that much, but sometimes you do get bits and pieces. Why? You thinking of heading there? You and your friend? Looking at you at this time, Bhold.
I was planning on heading over there to gather some materials to make healing potions to help the city.
Ah, I see. Well, if you're looking for that, I'm not the best at it. Well, actually, no, that's not true. If you're looking for healing medicines, I don't know. If you're looking for healing medicines, he gives you a wink, then you want to search a little bit further up the mountainsides.
See.
You'll be looking for a little bit of a. It's a little bit of a woody plant. It's got a little bit of a like a dusty petal to it, I believe. Had a few of the other individuals go and get me some. Be careful, though. It's not exactly seen as the greatest of things that has come to this world. It is in my eyes. I mean, brings in the money. But yeah, if you are going up there, keep an eye out. It's worth quite a bit. Not a massive amount, but it's not bad. There are also some which have a little bit of a darker coloration to them, kind of like thyme, if you know what I mean. Kind of a stick with like small, snubby, like stubby leaves. They're a little bit black and so on. Those are good. You can eat those, or you can put them on your food and so on. They're pretty nice.
From his description, can I tell what that is?
Go ahead. Make a nature check. That is...
That's +7.
+7. 21.
21.
Yeah, you know what these are. These are crutch leaves, what he is talking about. They're generally added to food to season them. The other one, though, you're not entirely sure what it does.
That last one you mentioned, you're talking about crutch leaves, right?
Yeah, it's good stuff. It does taste quite nice. It's legal stuff, so you can bring it in. I would still say you might want to hide it, kind of like how you did when you brought the stuff in before. I don't know how you managed it, but you know, it might be worth looking into that.
Yeah. If I see any up there, I'll grab some.
Good. All right. Well, good hunting to you if you're looking for those medical herbs of yours. And did you want anything, Bhold? Another drink, perhaps?
No, I don't want anything.
Oh.
I'm sorry though.
Oh, don't be. Bessie'll be fine. She lives in her natural habitat now, and I can still go and see her. She sometimes brings back presents, big ones. Yeah.
I actually want to see these presents.
You want to see one of them?
Yeah. Let's have a look at the present.
Sure. Seeing as the room's no longer in use, I'll leave the presents there. All right. He opens up the flap, kind of to behind the bar. He proceeds to wipe his hands on his greasy apron and proceeds to walk out back, his belly wobbling as he goes through the doorway. Kind of the chef yells at him in some unknown language. Do either of you speak gnome? Actually, no, is it gnome or is it? I believe it's gnomish. Just gonna double check. It's gnomish or one other language. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it is. It is. Yeah, gnomish.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. The chef proceeds to yell again a little bit. Again raises the middle finger and just shouts back in this unknown language, and you all proceed to walk on to the doorway that you remember. Heading inside, you see a relatively large, partially charred and partially destroyed corpse of something.
Can I tell what it is?
Make a nature check. You may do the same as well, Bhold, if you wish. Seeing as you may or may not know what this is. Okay. You immediately know what this is, Malcom. These are creatures that sometimes reside in the, or have been known to very much reside in the Barren Lands. This is the corpse of a stalagmite.
A stalagmite. Oh goodness.
Yeah. Stalagmites. Actually, no, you'd know about this indefinitely. The capital of the Barren Lands used to be an old stalagmite nest, giant
Yes.
termite mound, and yeah. So you know what this thing is. You know that these generally come in large numbers. They can be dangerous, but at the same time, they're also fairly weak on their own.
Ah, so she brings you stalagmites.
Is that what this is? Yeah. I don't know what to do with it. Can't cook it. But I might find a use for it.
Do I know any uses that could be any use that could come of a stalagmite corpse?
Make a survival check with advantage for this. I'm going to say, Behold, what was your total for that? 14 or?
15.
15? Okay. You know what a stalagmite is, and you can also do a survival check if you wish, but this will be without advantage, so just regular roll.
+7 again.
7 again. Okay.
That's an 18 for me.
18 for you, 16 for you. Thinking it over, you know that stalagmites can be used sometimes in cooking. Most of their body is poisonous, but if you use the right amount of antitoxin, you can counteract the poisonous side to the stalagmites, and it will make a relatively rich kind of a spiced meal that's fairly nutritious. If eaten too often, can kill you because of an overdose of poison, but it can be used to make some particular delicacies. The corpse, however, has been completely charred. This thing is most likely going to have zero use in the food compartment.
Yeah.
You, Behold, in your more of a carving aspect and knowledge, you know that stalagmites can be used when carved properly. You can use different portions of them and their strong tendons and kind of the slightly harder outer carapace to form shields, bowstrings, and other bits of like kind of ricochet armor almost. You kind of put it together and you can form some kind of armor. Melting it down will have no real purpose, but you can kind of put the bits together to form a form of armor or shield, as well as accessories to ranged weapons.
Well, we could probably make armor or shields with this.
I'll see. I'll get someone in. Actually, that's a point. Yeah, actually, no, you give me a good idea there, Behold. Thank you. I'll see what I can do about this. There's someone I can talk to who knows some stuff about this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway, yeah, she's also been bringing me back these, and he hands out what looks to be 2 dark rocks.
Oh,
They look mostly
What are
like... Make a intelligence check.
an intelligence?
oh,
Yeah.
Behold specialty.
Behold, specialty. Malcolm's specialty.
Well,
Malcolm, you know this to be what would be some kind of fossil. Looking on the general surface of it, it looks to be partially charred, so it's probably been burnt in its carrying. But as you begin to dust it off, you see the outside of it is kind of like these pieces of old bone. You're not entirely sure from what species or what from, but depending on how much there is, it could be relatively valuable. And also from what species.
These are, from what I can tell, they look like fossils.
Fossils?
They can, depending on what they are and how much there is, they could be quite valuable.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. Alright, if Bessie brings back more of these, I better not throw them out. Alright, thank you for your help. Yeah, if you want any bit of that thing, pointing to the stalagmite, you can have it. I don't mind. Yeah, I'll get some more people on if she brings more back. And if she does bring more back, should I be worried, or is it natural?
That's a good question. Well, actually, they usually stick together in groups. They're quite dangerous in groups, but alone they're fairly weak.
So if she brings back more, if she doesn't bring back too many, that's not to worry about. But if she brings back a lot, then I'm to worry about it.
Probably, and you should
Right.
probably inform Rohal about it.
Okay. Alright. Thanks for the heads up. I'll keep an eye on that. Yeah. Thanks. You're welcome to anything that's here. I'll hold on to these. He takes the rocks back and he kind of looks at them and just goes, Alright then. Well, free to linger as much as you want. Don't pinch anything from the kitchen. The chef will have your nose. Alright. I better get back to work, and he just shoves the 2 rocks in his pocket and kind of lumbers up the stone steps. Back up into the kitchen and out onto the bar.
Alright. I'd like to see if I can get anything useful from this thing.
Okay, survival check then, please.
I was still here. I was just.
Hmm?
No one wants to hear me eating.
That's fair.
Oh,
+7.
That's 7. Infernal, you look over it and you begin to like tear chunks of it off, trying to get to the hardened bit, not realizing you're just tearing off charred pieces of it, not really of any use. With your carving away at it, Bhold is surprisingly unhelpful, but he also does get rid of the majority of the debris around the outside of this, and you begin to carve off pieces which can be useful. You manage to carve off what would be like 2 large plates, probably weighing about 2 pound each, of stalagmite chitin. And you attempt to salvage a few of the eyes, but the eyes seem to be too like charred and burned, and they kind of, the moment you try and carve one out, it kind of dissolves into mush and kind of sinks into the eye almost, or the eye socket. So you have 4 pounds worth of stalagmite chitin. With that, you could probably make a shield.
Ooh.
Maybe begin to start making some other kind of heavier armor, depending on the nature of it.
Good.
With that done, you proceed to leave the area, finishing up your duty, leaving the remainder of the stalagmite down there. You head up, Gin gives you a nod as you head out, and you proceed back to the tavern where you would then begin your interview. For the remainder of the day, Sudz, you wanted to then go and speak to the other individuals.
Other individual, yes.
Yeah. You go and speak to Hurricane. He gives you the license. He then proceeds to offer you the horse for 50 gold, and he'll entirely refund it if you bring it back alive.
Alright, and I give over the
50 gold.
50 gold.
Okay. With that time done and that all spent, you go back. You then proceed to go about the hiring process. You draw the circle, you head off to the mountainside. I would like you to make me... How long were you staying there again? It was 6 hours we decided on?
Well, because I wasn't coming back for the hiring, I was going to stay for 16 hours.
Yeah, but you wanted to make the potions on the second day
Oh,
because you already took the
Well,
resources off for that, didn't you?
oh yeah, that's right. All right, yeah.
So I'd like you to make me 6. I would like you. No, this would be 2 survival checks and then 6 investigation checks. So start with those 2. So the survival checks or the nature, whichever one you choose. And are you investigating the low mountain, the partially up way of the mountain, or the higher up of the mountain?
Partially up.
Looking over the portions of the mountain, you proceed to look around on the various areas, and you begin to spot some areas which could house some particular herbs that you're looking for. I'd also like you to make me the investigation checks then, please. All 6 for the next 6 hours. Okay. Traveling around during that time, you do find a few different patches of kind of mildly boggy ground, kind of nestled bits of rock that kind of have what maybe might be the beginning of a stream or a creek of some form. It's kind of just a little bit mushy ground. You get your foot stuck in there at one point. You pull it out, and there's a swarm of mosquitoes that attack you. Take 1 point of damage. You swiftly dispatch them. Quick flame sphere, and they're all gone. Poof. And as you begin to look through, you begin to dig through the various areas around this location and further afield. On your journeys, you do spot the strange silver flower. You only find maybe 3 of them in a small bunch. Currently nestled very deep within a rock. Do you take them?
Yeah. Let's take the silver flower.
You take the silver flower with a little bit of like the kind of like the white dusting over the top of it almost. You take them and you pocket them, bag them up, and you proceed to go around the rest of it looking for medical herbs. You find no crutch leaves as they'd be further up the mountain. And over this time you find what would be around about 24 or so GP's worth of medical herbs over the next 6 hours, and finding some particularly stronger specimens that can be used to make more vibrant or more vigorous healing potions and other medical uses to them. You then proceed to head back to the tavern. You skip the next day, and you proceed to spend the next day with the supplies that you've both gathered and bought to proceed to make the health potions. And you proceed to do so without much interference, and then you rest for the day. Bhold, on your search, you, after speaking to Gen, you go back, you do the recruitment process. Actually, no, before that, you head out into town, go into the same people you went to before. You pick up your suit, and you proceed to ask them to make some kind of fabric cape, almost, in kind of like a. You mentioned some kind of like war design, something to commemorate an old friend, and they give you a few ideas, and with what you're trying to understand of it, you get the general gist of it. And they begin to explain kind of a tattered design, kind of like a broken and torn war cape with the symbol you're looking for on the back. With your time spent, you proceed to get that done. They offer to get it done for about a gold piece, seeing as it's going to use spare fabric.
That's fine.
You have a gold piece?
Yeah, I do have 1 gold piece. Come on.
Using
Actually, do I? Oh no. Oh no. I have 8 silver pieces.
Give me a persuasion check then, please, to see if they'll go down.
Oh. I'll give you free drinks if you come to our tavern.
Okay, make it with advantage. Actually, no, these guys are elves. They don't care. Same anyway. What's your persuasion?
Elves care about drinks.
They do, but they don't care about ale.
That's a 10.
That's fair.
That's a 10.
Yeah.
The individual looks at you and goes, "Alright, fine. Okay, we'll get this done for you, but seeing as you're short on cash, if you ever want anything from us again in the future, we will be charging that extra 2 silver. Don't think
That's
we'll forget.
fine.
We're elves."
Okay.
You take your new main wear and you leave them to their business. They say they'll have it to you by the end of the day, and you're welcome to come and collect it if you wish. Actually, because of the extra delivery service, because you went and collected it, you would have had enough to pay the full thing, because they asked for an extra gold piece for the delivery, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so never mind. You easily pay that off. You come and collect it rather than having it delivered. You go back, you put it on, and you proceed about your business as you go about the recruitment process. With that over and done with, you get back into your usual self and you go about the arena. You proceed to go about a few punch-ups, training individuals in different ways. Not training them martial arts in a tactical way, but just beating them up until they learn. You proceed to do so. You train a few rookies. They're kind of not knowing what to do. Eventually you do see someone you do very much recognize. Timizian.
Oh,
And he's currently stand there, hunched back, currently with his arms crossed, with this large overcoat on.
I go up to him.
Okay,
Oh,
you get out of the arena, and he's currently standing on the sidelines, currently just watching as people were training and beating each other up. It was an impressive display, but crude, if I must say so myself.
thank you. Do you wanna do a little sparring?
We can do, if you would like. I will say that I don't physically spar as much as I would like. I'm more accommodated to using weapons, but I can try.
You can use swords if you want.
If you wish to go to the small fighting area, I would be okay with that.
Sure.
You lead off, you go past the prisons into the barracks, and you see what looks to be a new carved out way that you haven't recognized. With your intelligence, the thought squeezes out, maybe that leads to home. You'll try it later. And as you go there, you see Timizian in his proper armor, and you watch as he takes his overcoat off. You see what looks to be a hard kind of spiked chitin armor over his main form, the Slavarian snout coming to a point, the kind of the racing striped scales leading from his nostrils down past his eyes and down the back of his neck. You can see what looks to be a large beetle currently crawling on the top of his head as he pulls his hood back and takes the full robe off. And as he does, he reaches up and grabs the beetle, and you watch as it just begins to morph into that of a shield. The forms of its small legs gripping around his arm as he forms the shield and sword that you saw him wield before. Over an original fight that you proceed to go about, you beat each other up. A few very well landed hits. You being mostly resistant to the damage he's outputting, it's fairly easy for you to kind of take a lot of the hits, but he is a bit too skillful, dodging and striking you quickly. You begin to take the form that you need, the stance, and you begin to swing wildly, striking against him. You carve through a few of the shields, which he discards and replaces that with another blade, and proceeds to strike you a few more times before you see he backs off. A few individuals at this point have watched, and as he does, you watch as he drops both of the swords to the ground, and a few of the individuals proceed to think it's the end. You don't relax your posture though, grasping your greatsword and rushing forward for another swing. You see, as he does so, he brings both of his hands up, and you watch as a very thin flute begins to form, and he begins to play it. As he does, you feel a rush of bites across your form as you're pushed back and held by a large swarm of insects. Breaking the flute in two, he forms what looks to be that of a bow. Pieces of sinew kind of forming as the chitin forms the main shell of it, shielding his arm. And as he pulls back the bow and releases the shot, you see a very small beetle on the end, and as it strikes you, you grasp your head, almost stunned, and the next minute you know you're on the ground, the blade currently pointed to your neck. It was a good fight. I'll admit you're strong, but I don't think you can best someone like me just yet. Nearly, though.
Next time I'll get you.
Better make it a good one, then. And he pulls the blade back, helps pull you up, and kind of bow. A few individuals go back about their business, training and doing what they need to do. You investigate the path?
Yes.
You investigate the path, and it does indeed lead back home. You see what looks to be the remains of two dwarves who have finished digging out, and they're currently just setting the wall in stone and setting the main archway that leads in. One of them currently carries a door as he sets it into place and begins to kind of put the hinges in. As this takes place, you see one of the dwarves just turns around and goes, "This place isn't ready yet. If you want to go back to the surface, you're going to have to go the long way around. This leads to somebody's home."
I think this leads to my home.
Make a persuasion check. Alright.
Oh, that's a 13.
Alright then. If it's your home, tell us what the name of the tavern is.
Shit. Let's see here. Shalia.
Close
I'm
enough.
not
Alright,
very
close
good
enough.
at names.
Alright, yep, go on. Go on then. This will lead you on into the tavern anyway. If anything, it'll lead you to the kitchen. Alright, you can go through.
Oh no, don't let him in there.
Don't
That's
let
where all the
Bhold in
food
the
is.
kitchen. Why are you letting Bhold in the food?
As you,
Surely that's a health code violation.
as you head through, you climb the staircase, which leads to a very short ladder, which you climb up and into the storage room. You see lots of barrels in there. They haven't got any siphons in them to kind of take whatever's in the barrels out. It smells dusty in here. It's almost as if the barrels have been kept a long time and are now being just pulled in as extra cargo, and they've been put in place. It might just be the nature of how it's been recently cut stone, and there's just dust as it settles.
What is in these bags?
Looking through, you can see the bag. There are currently some sacks. They are currently empty. They have not got food in them just yet. And you go about your business. You walk through the kitchen. You can see that there is two spits over the way next to what look to be some like a metal grid, some kind of heating apparatus. You don't know. You head back out into the hallway, and you are now in your home. Over the second day, you then proceed to do the same thing. Meeting the guards and the barkeepers as you do, you proceed to go back to the arena, train a few, and punch them up where you can, doing what needs to be done. And finally, Elsyan. During your time off, what did you want to do exactly? Wow, the moment I say his name, he says, "Be right back, getting food." Conveniently timed on his part. Definitely not running away from his destiny. No, it's fine.
So, did the guard recruitment thing already go?
Oh yeah, that would have been done on the second day.
Oh, because I wanted to. You know.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm just doing the interviews as time goes. Yeah. During this time, Sasha, going about her own business, she proceeds to go out into the town, proceeds to help people where she can, doing what needs to be done. She passes out what needs to be done with medical attention wise. She grabs food where need be and proceeds to help those who need it. And you also know from what she says, she seems a little bit downtrodden by what's taken place. But she goes to see Regan. She goes to Aleuir's fortress, proceeds to head inside, and begins to try and figure out if there are ways to try and help him. She casts the sending spell, trying to reach him from inside of his body, but fails to do so. No reply meeting her as she talks to him. As time passes, she goes to the library. Same kind of time as you're lingering around there, Queglod. And she proceeds to try and look for a way to cure Regan. only seeming to find that what she's looking for it's a natural coma. There's no real way of solving it without some higher level magics, maybe even a wish. The strongest form of magic that any of you know. A myth from what you've heard of. Knowing that, she proceeds to go back. Proceeds to go about her business, going to the interviews and seeing what they are, before proceeding to help out where she can. She offers a few people some aid in smithing. She goes to a few of the areas where they make horseshoes, and they proceed to make all of the equipment for carts and preparing that. And various blacksmiths around town, offers to work for free for a day. And with her work, she makes a big impact. A lot of the smiths seem to feel more at home with what she does. They ask her who she is, and she proceeds to do a small amount of advertisement, saying that she comes from a tavern known as the Shrouded Chalier just off of town. With this, a few of them are inspired. They proceed to go about their business, and eventually, welcome back, and eventually a few of them do turn up. Some of them dwarves, some of them humans, but just most of them as they are. Knowing that you will probably be opening on the second day after you've gotten your guards, you know that this is probably going to be good for what you're looking for. So you now have that many. Now have that many dwarves and that many humans, which means your overall turn has increased.
This is customers.
Yeah, this is customers.
Okay, just check.
Leading into the second day, she proceeds to also continue to help out around town, proceeding to aid those who need it over the course of that time. She also drops in at Cassie at one point, hearing a little bit of misfortunate news that unfortunately her previous mentor, the guy that you guys bullied, has died. Unfortunately, during the event of the attack, he has died, and Cassie is now refusing to see her due to your guys' interference.
Wait,
So just let me check. This is the old guy that I made go insane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you say we bullied. It was all
It
elves.
was all me. Don't give these people credit for my deeds.
Either way, Sasha now partially resents those who were involved, because some of you bystanded and chose not to help. Which is still technically meaning you're part of it. As a result of this, she is a little bit against you guys. Obviously, you weren't there, Ghaakt and Malcom. You went off and did your own thing over the academy before you got attacked. And Ghaakt, you weren't even in town. Actually, no, you were in town. You were doing some street performances here and there.
Please, no one could tell it was me that was doing anything.
Either way.
But everybody knows.
Everyone knows it was me.
Yeah. So, as this takes place, Elsyan, what did you want to do during your time?
During my time, I wish to go to the library.
Go into the library, you proceed to look around for the information you need. Give me an investigation check.
Well, before I do an investigation check, I was just going to make things simple and go up to the librarian and ask them questions.
What would you like to ask?
Sumi, do you have any books about a particular party or adventuring group? I'm afraid I do not know their name, but I do know what members were in it, or at least their description.
She gives a nod, and you proceed to describe them to her. She proceeds to think. She has no idea.
No idea at all.
No.
Okay then.
No, because of how general you're being, with how the fact that you only know the races of them, she doesn't recognize any of them being particularly memorable. She's read history books and she's read that kind of thing, but she doesn't seem to remember anything.
She can't pin anything specific.
No.
Okay, that's fine. There was just a book that one of my friends was recommending for me. Anyway, also one other question: any books on, say, syringes down south, or needles, or
she looks
on the south coast?
She looks particularly confused. She does point you in the direction of medical history.
But
she doesn't.
I must apologise.
Understand.
I mean, as in reference to geographical features.
Geographical features wise, she has no idea. Doesn't seem to be anything of particular note.
I've lost my notebook now. I had it earlier. That's what gave me this idea. What's that guy? There's something about an eye, but I can't remember anything else about it. Shit. GG Nuri.
There was an eye, there was a syringe, and
There was
the
sphere.
and there was the sphere. Yes.
Yes, but the sphere, I know what it is.
Yeah.
Like that. Well, I'm just then can do an investigation check through areas where, like, there might be stories of various adventuring parties.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an investigation check then, please.
And that plus my 6, I believe.
Only 6?
I believe it's either 6 or 7.
It'll be 5 or 8. You have an intelligence of 20, don't you? Oh no, you have an intelligence of 18.
Yes.
So yeah, it'll be 7 or 4.
Let me check. I think it's actually 7 because it's investigate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's 7.
Okay. With that, you look through various adventuring books. Most of them seem to be fiction. You throw those ones out. You don't need them. Going through, you look at various adventuring parties. There are some similarities, but there's never anything that fits. You don't get a feeling. You don't understand. And you go through various books looking through. There's nothing really there that you can kind of pinpoint. You begin to try and think on it, and you think you know that you've seen this before. It's something that you've seen before, you just don't know what it is.
Wait, I've just had a thought. I'm guessing there aren't any books on previous Dawn Marshals, are there?
There would be. There'd be a few history books on them.
I look for them.
Okay. Looking through on your previous investigation, you look through previous Dawn Marshals. It mainly seems to show the same kind of thing that you saw, the plaque and the main drawing. Their racial features don't seem to be very distinct in these. The only one that's really distinct is it shows a pair of Azamars. The two of them seem to be kind of intertwined by what looks to be a chain between their arms. They're currently flying over the battlefield.
Okay, that's not very helpful because I don't believe Azamars were mentioned.
Looking through, you don't seem to see anything that catches your eye immediately. You do get a mild feeling that you might be on the right track, but I don't know. You haven't got enough detail here. These history books are inadequate to what you need.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have a little look for talks about notable, like, stalagmites, stalactites, that's the ones that come out of the ground. Yes.
Okay.
Notable stalactites along, like, the south coast.
Okay. Give me a investigation check then, please.
I've got to find these shards.
Okay.
That comes to a total of 26.
Reading through the books, you don't find anything in massive particular about stalactites on the surface.
Oh.
You do read some books about, they seem to be fairly recent history books, about what is a crystal cave. Some of the individuals who discovered it have called it the Crystal Cascade.
Okay.
The location itself is currently difficult to find. It's somewhere in the southern mountain ranges, south of the dwarven cities, but accessible through a passageway on the south side of the mountains. The passageway itself is mostly hidden. There is an old mine nearby it, and the old mine has been abandoned for a long time, seeing as since the swamp started growing in and consuming the local wildlife, and as a result drove out the local villagers. The way into it is nearby. That's all you know. That's nothing really else detailed. It speaks of large waterfalls or crystal falls of these liquid crystals that both solidify and liquefy almost in a motionless state, always shifting between one and the other before striking the bottom, shattering into small droplets that sink and solidify almost like magma. The location itself is beautiful but extensively dangerous. The adventurers themselves were forced to turn back after being confronted by several strange creatures, strange abominations made from crystals almost. And with this kind of elemental incursion and the development of this and the adventures, it stops there. It speaks of 3 adventurers in question. Not really anything special, noteworthy to them. But it's as much as you have to go on. It sounds quite right. It was a stalagmite that glowed greater than anything else. Potential lead, you're not sure. But it seems fitting. Going through all the other books of various adventures down south, there isn't much which speaks of notable stalactites. But a crystal, that could fit. But then your mind links back. How does a crystal fit with either a syringe or an eye? You're not sure. Your mind wanders and you ponder for a bit, and over the course of the rest of the day you begin to investigate further, trying to find more information, but failing to do so. The first day up after the interviews has gone. What do you wish to do for the second day?
The second day I think I'll return to the library, not looking so much for this, but looking more for my religion, which I can't find any
Mask.
thing that is it. Is it just the mask?
Just mask, yes.
Just mask. I'm going to do some more research on mask.
Okay.
Relation of how it might possibly give me some sign of my mother's next move.
Okay. Give me an investigation check then, please.
I can't investigate.
This is
I
good.
don't have actual. Ha!
Okay.
That was the weirdest noise I've ever made.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
This is what anime does to you people.
Let it be warned, anime is
Before
dangerous.
anime, after anime.
So,
Me after getting hit by an enemy and taking 1 damage.
It's because I had. Oh god, I had a sausage in my mouth.
Well, say no more.
Not an actual sausage, an actual pork sausage. I'm not making this any better.
Look, man, I'm not judging you.
I'm not David Cameron.
okay. Alright, anyway, so... I'll clip that later. So...
Well, I'm not David Cameron.
No, I've got a sausage in my mouth, I'm not David Cameron. Anyway, so, as you proceed to go through some of the books, you proceed to investigate Mask a bit more, the darkness, the god of thieves. You proceed to take the information that you know and you proceed to try and harness it, understand it a bit more, going through the books, flipping through the pages. And as you do, you find something interesting. Your passive perception, your investigation pick up on something, an irregularity in the book. And as you begin to turn through pages, you turn the page and it feels as if you've turned 10, 15 pages. Proceeding to investigate further, you dwell deeper into it, running your finger along the seam of the book, seeing if there's any way of investigating further into it. You eventually resort to trying to see if there's anything in the spine, and looking through the base of the spine where that small gap is between the actual paper and the edge of the spine itself. There's something illusory. And you pick up on it and you harness it. You begin to try to overcome it. And as you do, you find more pages, ones that weren't previously in this book. And as you read through them, they speak of differences, irregularities in deification. They speak of strange occurrences within the deities themselves. Mask being less of a deity but more of a figure. Welcome, Harlan. Being more.
What do you mean? I've been here the entire time.
Yep.
Sorry.
Harlan, would you be able to send a text to Matt just to let him know you're here so he can do a sound test for you? As you proceed to read through the book further, you proceed to understand a bit of it, and eventually you see it. You see a very strange sight. It's your mother.
What?
You begin to frantically flick through the rest of the pages remaining. You begin to look through them, and as you investigate them further, you understand now. But you also question yourself.
What do I understand, Chris?
She's not an elf.
She's a god!
No,
wait.
she's not.
She's a ghost.
She's something you're not quite sure. Strangely enough, within the mask, the book itself, it speaks of someone who contested Mask for his position. Originally was the spouse of. And speaking of it, you see that Mask stole her deification. She was left to burn and rot on the material plane, but seeked some form of magic that prevented her death. The agents of Mask constantly trying to thwart her plans as she attempts to destroy them previously. You understand now the reason you were drawn to Mask. You have something in common. An enemy at large. He may have more secrets that he can give to understand your mother. She has existed on this world far longer than you originally imagined. Longer than any elf has a right to live. Understanding this, you look back and you think. Your memories return to you from Chronicle. You hear the screams, the pain that you've experienced on your journey here. The knowing of what has taken place. The people you have had sacrifice themselves so that you can escape. Those you once knew and the allies and the strings you've pulled to use what they owed you for your own survival. You understand now. Your father may be dead, but he's only a pawn in this matter. If he isn't dead, then that changes nothing. Your brother, same. You. If she needed something, if she needed one of her children to live in order to get back at this individual, then she would simply keep one of your brothers alive. But she needs you. And as these threads begin to strike out at you, begin to fit semblance, you go into a meditative state for several hours on end. No one dares interrupt you, as every time someone looks at you in the library, they get a sense of dread, of danger. You are left alone for several hours. 6, 7 hours pass in this meditative state, as all these threads begin to connect. You finally understand. You begin to piece things together. If your mother were to make her next move, she'd send either somebody after you, or now that you have announced yourselves as Dawn Marshals, after the Dawn artifacts themselves to attempt you. With this in mind, your mind closes to a rest. A few people staring at you in the library. You briskly put the book away and you walk out of the library, disturbed as a grave chill rushes over your form. The necklace around your neck pulses with arcane energy as you feel something watching, but then it shatters instantly. You move forward through the walkways, down the street and back home. Keeping this knowledge to yourself, you grasp your head as through the night, as you begin to meditate and rest, nightmares and threads begin to lash out at you. You begin to attempt to understand them, to overcome them, and as you do, piece by piece, the puzzle falls into place, and your mother's moves become predictable. Whenever you use your shard ability from now on to locate a shard, you can locate the location of your mother and her next move.
Excellent.
You may use this specific effect once a week.
Once a week. Okay then.
Do note that down.
Yes. I will put that. I'll go to note that down now.
That's fine. Going back to everything, Harlan, I'll give you a quick rundown of what just took place. For you, anyway.
Yay!
You texted Matt, I assume.
I texted him. I don't know. He hasn't replied.
Okay, well, hopefully he'll get this, and if not, we'll assume you're the right volume. So, here's what happened while you were away. You went to speak to Regan, you used sending, it failed, he wasn't able to communicate. You went to the library, did some research, you helped out around town, you helped out with some blacksmiths, did particularly well, worked for them for free. You mentioned the name of the Shrouded Chalier, they will now proceed, a few of them will now proceed to go there and proceed to help with your business.
Advertising.
Mostly humans, mostly dwarves. You also go and visit Cassie. When you go there, you find out that her old mentor, the old guy who sat outside, has died. He was killed during the conflict. However, she no longer wishes to speak to you. For the pure reason of Elsyan tormented him a few days before, the few weeks before, where he proceeded to knock him down on the ground and show him delusions which caused him to kind of rile and go into a fit of madness. Due to this, she dislikes your group now, feeling that you guys have done something very cruel, very childish almost, and she feels...
Well, shit, I guess I have to kill Elsyan
And
now.
she feels partially humiliated for it. She doesn't mind you. She just doesn't like the idea of the fact that the one who taught her how to do everything that she knows was tormented a few weeks before he died, and that you guys didn't have a chance to atone for it. Due to this, she has requested that you don't come back until such time has passed that she is willing to accept what has happened.
That's fair.
My bad.
Elsyan's getting to feel the Smashfist tonight.
Indeed.
Hey!
Oh my.
So,
I'm trying to go for a tone change here because that was very scary.
yes, with your time skips over, we will now proceed to take a quick break, and then we will go to the hiring process where they proceed to test their new employees. And then after that, we will skip a few days as they do their general tasks, and then they leave the town whenever that may be. So, we will be back shortly, taking a quick break. We will be no more than 5 minutes, hopefully. But we will see. Be back soon.
You're now stuck rolling.
You realise if you drop
Yeah.
it and it's an 8, it's not gonna count. So you
Yeah.
gotta
Yes,
keep
I know.
going.
Yeah, they're rolling hit.
hurt.
They're rolling. Just so stream knows, they're rolling hit die, and I told them they couldn't drop them until the stream's up. So the stream's up. So if you want to go ahead and roll your hit die, people.
Okay.
Re-rolling
Can I
ones.
re-roll it?
Re-rolling ones as usual per roll. If you roll a 1
Hey!
this time, though, it
5.
sucks.
Got an
I
eight.
rerolled a roll.
Yeah, re-roll the 1.
Got an
9,
eight,
nice.
I got a 7. That was a really good buff.
7. Okay.
Yeah.
All round
7.
good rolls. As per my rule, because I want them to be powerful so I can kill them later with higher mobs really early. I let them re-roll ones on the hit die.
You just want to quickly kill us all.
Look, here's a good DM tip to anybody who is watching. Give your players what they need so you can throw bigger things at them when they shouldn't be able to fight them. For example, I could throw at you guys right now probably an adult red dragon. You guys would cry, but then you would go, "Oh wait, we could potentially win if we do this smart." You have fought things that
there's
are
a
extremely
major
scary.
flaw on that plan.
What?
There's a major flaw on that plan. If
Smart.
we do this smart. And if we ever done anything smart, we make plans and we ignore them.
Yeah, that's true. Every D&D group does that though.
We make perfect plans that should work perfectly.
And then
And
I
then-
throw in one thing and it breaks. Make sure to add
No,
your
then-
Constitution
Then
modifier as
Behold
well.
rages.
My constitution
Then-
modifier is already added because it's nothing.
Yeah, but you got an 8, so it's fine.
We make
Oh,
a
that's
great
right,
We're
yeah.
plan.
level 6 now, I.
Well,
Constitution.
in all honesty,
So does that make it an 8? I rolled a 5. Does Constitution make it an 8?
it's better. In
It's
another
the
campaign
left
I did,
number underneath the
we
Constitution.
another campaign we did, we leveled up 2 levels because we've had like a gap between our characters, and I rolled up just terribly. Supposed to have 2d8 rolls. I rolled 2 2s.
Okay, so
2 levels, 4 HP. It sucks.
So yeah, so you've added your healths, you've made sure you've got your features present, and so on, because you've all leveled up. So
Oh shit.
Oh,
Don't
yeah, health.
know.
Crap.
Just-
your health that you rolled will be 5 plus your Constitution modifier, but for you, Ghaakt, I believe that's a +9.
I have a plus. Oh wait, for Constitution.
Yeah.
My Constitution. Wait.
It's the left number
3?
underneath.
Oh, 3.
the left
Okay, in which case that's an 8 then, because it's 5 plus 3.
Yeah.
And then everybody else, you know the shtick on how to put your HP up and so on. So yeah, that should all be fine. None of you have an ability score improvement because no one's a fighter, so that should be fine. Anyway, back to the task at hand. So, over the... as you're all patiently waiting for the next thing to occur, you're all sat in your tavern. Well, you'd all decided to be there for the barkeeper, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be coming in with mine.
You're going to come in with it on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You all watch as you're all sat there. Behold said he needed a moment. And you watch as Behold comes in with a very strange sight. You see a very crisp, very sharp black tuxedo with a white front on it, a button and a bow tie fitted to his side. You see what looks to be along the main kind of collar portion of it, where the buttonhole would be. You see what looks to be a very intricate kind of war paint-like design to it. Very well made, pressed trousers, very crisp and sharp as they fit down his person, measured to him exactly, custom made. You see on the cuffs there are 2 buttons which he has very crudely managed to try and get into place. They're the pop buttons that you would get rather than the ones you'd fiddle with, which are a pain in the backside. And he's looking very sharp, very crisp. You see that his beard that is ever so slightly growing through now, where he has like the patch of the light coloured hair as it's beginning to build into place. You see that's been like, if there are any rough patches of it, it's been neatened up. You see that he's made sure that he's all washed and clean, and this is the best you've seen him in a long time.
Whatever happened to that idea to go in the buff?
Ooh, you know
Denied,
what? This is
Kenny.
the exact opposite. Elsyan approved.
They never
El-
expected.
Exactly.
Elsyan's just holding a thumbs up at you and nodding in appreciation.
Behold, want to be gentlemen.
I can
Oh.
teach you my ways.
And as you wait, as you sit around, you've pulled a table into place in preparation for this. You have the file on this individual. You were given it on the later portion of the first day after they finished your basement.
This is the barkeeper, right?
This is the barkeeper, yes. You know this individual is known as Zuvan Brudenkiln, a brass dragonborn, male, age 42. He comes from Kjonendir in the north. His previous line of work was military, so he is now ex-military. And the experience that he has in this is that he runs and used to run a old weapon shop that his family owned. If you want to have any pre-talks before this individual arrives, you can do so.
But I think he sounds fantastic.
He sounds
That's-
strong.
Does sound suited to the job.
Sound experienced in management?
Just depends on how well he can cook drinks.
Yes, it's based on his CV, I would have no problem taking him on board.
But I
We just
suppose
need to, we just need to meet the guy, I suppose.
the proof is in the pouring.
For once,
Don't
I
let
actually agree with
Sasha
you,
push
Sasha.
against him then.
I forgot that I got a bonus to my AC.
From your level 6 upgrade, yeah.
Yeah.
At that moment, after you proceed to, as you proceed to talk about from what you generally know, because Elsyan, you had the keen mind feat, didn't you? Or no, you picked up observant.
Observant.
Okay. So in which case, Malcom, from your general knowledge of the time of day of when this individual is supposed to arrive, they are almost exactly on time. As there's a on the front door.
Punctual.
Good sign.
I'm excited.
Guess
Oh
I'll go.
my.
We go and open for the door.
Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
open the
Okay.
door.
You go over.
Wait. Could I use my telekinesis to open the door?
Yes, you could.
Haha! Using telekinesis to open the door.
The front door opens. You see what looks to be a well-dressed in a similar sharp formal wear, almost very well made, similar to Bhold, but a little bit more of a kind of a northern feel to it. The main portion of the fabric seems to be a little bit more high quality. It seems to be a little bit more made of what you can probably tell would either be goat's wool rather than sheep's wool, that kind of nature to it. Looking at this individual, he is a brass dragonborn, as previously described, with what looks to be with thick-scaled eyebrows following the crest line of his face, leading to what is a blunt snout, kind of almost as if he's like walked into something. It's just flat on the end. He has what looks to be deep-set and sharp emerald eyes, with what looks to be a thick-scaled tail. And as he takes a few steps in, he stands there, does a punctual salute, about a 20-degree bow, and his tail curls around his leg as he stands to attention. Perched atop his left shoulder, just nestling inside of his collar, you see a tiny golden pseudo-dragon, currently glaring off into the distance.
You're hired.
No, you know what? I agree this time.
My name is Zuvan Brudenkiln. Was that all that was needed to be done for this hiring?
We're having a bit of
It
a
is
joke.
for
You
me.
You look very impressive. There's a good aura about you. You know, very fitting with the theme we want to build here.
He gives a smile and gives again an honourable nod and says, "Oh well, thank you. That is very good to know."
Right.
Were
now,
there no other testers? I was told to prepare for tests, from what I was told.
well, we want to run you through your paces of just everyday things, but from what we've heard, you should be able to complete them without much difficulty. So we're
hoping for good things.
He takes a few steps forward and he stands at attention next to the seat that you've left for him.
Yes, there are others who could take the place, but we thought it best to give it to someone with such a glowing with such glowing report and information.
I see. Well, that's good to hear.
Now, we've stocked the bar, right?
Yeah, you had the
Right.
supplies brought in early this morning.
Right.
What's the
We've
most
got-
complicated drink I could order?
An ale.
I mean, that would be a test.
Yeah, we're not just checking. We're not a fancy.
No, you have
fancy
bought
bar.
baseline alcohol and beer, maybe a bit of cider. So
Maybe. So. I really shouldn't have been fapping for that session, should I?
No.
This place has no class. I'm disgusted with you. But maybe myself.
Says the man who was
Actually,
masturbating for an
canonically,
entire
you
day.
thought it was only a little tacky.
Did I? Interesting. That's a lie.
so
Hmm.
Oh.
well, yes, if you wish to test me, you're welcome to do so. I am prepared for anything you can throw at me.
Prepare for this chair.
Okay. Chris, I'm
Jack.
about
Do
to-
you throw?
Behold,
Do,
no,
Behold,
that's
do
the
you
wrong-
throw a chair?
Yes.
Okay.
I block the chair.
No, you don't need to. As this happens, you watch as he raises his right hand almost instinctively as the chair ricochets off of an arcane barrier before he catches the chair in midair and sets it down.
Excellent.
Alright, you're hired.
Yes, he's brilliant for bar fights.
I would rather
He's
not
very-
get involved in
Please do not.
fighting.
Please.
Don't worry. You shouldn't be getting involved in fights. That's what we're sorting out for tomorrow. Those who get involved with fights.
I see.
Mm.
Well,
But we'd
that
much
is good
prefer you
to
were
hear.
capable of, defending yourself should
Handling
something
yourself.
untoward happen.
Yes.
Just in case.
Yes. Right. Well, first things first. We have some basic alcohol stock. I want to see your pouring speed and your foaming levels.
You watch as he smiles and you watch as he extends his right hand out towards the bar.
Does he do anything, or does he just extend his hand?
About 10
that's-
seconds later, a tankard lands in front of you, full with ale, with a nice foam on the top, brought right to the rim.
I inspect it closely as a brewer.
The serving and the expertise in this is done to perfection.
Sasha needs a moment.
Calm yourself,
Okay, he's
Sasha.
tired. No, he's
How
hired.
about multiple?
No, I'm overruling all of you. He's hired.
As
How
you,
about multiple?
as you say, how about multiple? You watch as as you begin to hear it, you turn, you look, and you see this tray. As you see multiple tankards currently being placed on the top of this, and you watch as each of them is filled, and then you watch as the bottom of it begins to lift, and it floats over to you all. You see a very light blue ring on the underside of the tray as it's brought over to you all, and it places it down on the table with elegance.
Beermancy.
Not quite. Arcane arts. I learned a few in my military time. I have since retaught myself for general purpose. Some of you may be familiar with the magics. Mage Hand and Floating Disc. Simple spells when cast, but when used in the correct manner, can be used to perfection.
Certainly a helpful set of skills to have.
Just excellent. I don't. Oh, okay, right. Well, now, as for recreational activities, I'm prefacing this with, I'm saying this completely out of character, and it's not real, but I have to do it for the joke. Now, judging by your accent, recreational activities will be available. For example, would you like to join the volleyball team?
Oh, no.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't get that reference.
No, you,
You
don't.
don't
It's
need
an
to.
in
You don't
joke.
need
It's...
to.
It's a really fucking old one as well.
Love your Count Acura.
Would you like
best thing
to
to come
join
out
the
of
bond?
Dr. Acua.
The best thing to come out of that campaign has to be said.
Would you like to join the volleyball team?
Oh man.
Fucking love that guy.
Yes, same.
Oh,
But yes.
So, from what we have here, I heard that you were from Conandir? Kionandir?
Hionendir,
Hionendir.
yes. From the northern side. I used to work with the old Dragon Knights there when I was part of the military.
Ah, I see.
Did we end up going through
That-
Canondir, or did...
What?
As your general remembrance, yes, you did, but you avoided going to the snow palaces and fortresses in the north.
Right.
Traveling around that area, you know that it's generally quite a large city. It's generally well respected. It is mostly consistent of Dragonborns and Slitharians. There are very few other races that live there, and traveling through, you felt a little bit on edge, but you also felt fairly welcomed by them.
I'm all here for the scales. I mean, I literally follow a scaly goddess. I kind of gotta be there for it.
What are you doing later?
Is that asking Zuvin or Sasha?
Zuvin.
Hopefully working here, preparing and setting up. From what I've been told, it was a previously unmarked tavern, but you have a sign outside, so I'd assume you are opening for business within a couple of days, no?
Oh, he's good. I like him.
Yes, we are planning to open shortly. If you're
Hey, Ghaakt, dibs.
if you're able to begin,
You can't do
soon.
that.
You didn't call it.
I
No, I'm
just
kidding.
did.
Alright, then.
Well,
Yes.
Right.
but yes, if you're able to start soon, that would be most helpful.
I can look over the stocks, make sure the numbers are correct, and then I can proceed to evaluate the situation at hand. Have you done any series of advertisements for this place prior to my acceptance?
I mean, there was a concert a few days back.
Only
I
word of
see.
mouth so far, and a few little bits here and there. You might notice that the chalier on the front. I've been that may have been seen around the town, floating above my head every now and again.
I see. Well, if that is the case, then I will expect a good amount of people. I'll prepare as such the... You watch as he turns and he looks around this place and he goes, "It is fairly well established, well decorated. I do like the interior of this. It is comforting. I'll do my best to serve who I can, and I'll make sure that it is kept under control. Do you know the rough time of rush hours in these parts of town?"
Alright, would Malcolm notice? Since
well-
he's-
Yes, he would. It would be roughly around the 6 and 7 o'clock mark when either people get off of work or they're going out for a beer, pint for the night.
Around the 6 or 7 o'clock, when people are getting off.
Of course, in
Like Elsyan. Hey.
of course, in the immediate future, or with a certain amount of turmoil still going on, things will be inconsistent to begin with.
I have heard of the developments, yes. I
Yes,
heard that you in particular have some particularly high interest in the events that took place. I was told I shouldn't ask questions, and unless you wish to tell me, I will not inquire. However, if the nature of this is to bring in more customers and the events that took place, I would more than happily like to hear about this in order to understand how many people I should expect.
Queglod, do you want to take this one? It's kind of your
Words better with you.
yes.
All right then. What sorts of things would you like to know?
How public was your face? Did you perform great acts? Did you assist where necessary? Did you maybe get involved in the wrong way? Did you get accused? That kind of thing. If there is a positive or a negative outcome. If it is mostly positive, then I will expect more. If it is mostly negative, then I will expect less, depending on my usual quota. I have made sure to check the documents for this place, and I have seen that it is in a part of town that is a little bit sparse of a good tavern. So it may take a while to build up, but once it does, it'll be thriving in no time.
Well, in that case, I guess you can expect it to be much, much more considering.
So mostly positive, yes?
Very, very positive.
Mostly.
I mean,
there
they
was-
had you get. They had.
I mean, we
they had you
murdered
get
an
up on
old man.
stage.
No, I don't see that.
You're aware of the events that transpired.
I
with
am
the
aware that the
tragedy.
city was attacked and the people are looking for new ways to develop, and I assumed that either your home or this place was destroyed in the process and is now being renovated to what you desire.
It is, although it did not belong to us until recently.
I see. Taking an opportunity from it.
Yes.
I
You
suppose
see,
so. We are hoping that in the immediate future, we are hoping to be able to use this place to help the city to recover.
I see.
a sort of morale boost, along with a place where people can rest in this portion of the city whilst repairs are being done.
I see. What do you have in mind to aid the motivation of the people?
Well, we have a wonderful bard here. Da 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 da. Cha.
That is good, but I don't see a stage. Unless I am
We're-
mistaken.
I told you.
Look. I forgot that the stage was a thing, okay?
Yeah, without a
Right.
stage, if he performs on a table, there is a potentially good or bad outcome from it, depending on how he rolls. Whereas if he's on a
Depends on the
stage,
vibe.
then it just changes the atmosphere.
Right. We're still this is the base tavern currently. It's still in development. We're going to be adding we have plans to add other things even as and when they are needed and available to us.
This is something that we would appreciate your input on as well, since you're going to be running the place day to day.
Well, I haven't inspected the storage facilities, but if there needs to be a little bit more, then that would be welcome. But with the size of this tavern, it should be generally okay. I should be able to keep people served quite happily. With this kind of place, if due to the fact that it is quite far away, it probably wouldn't go amiss to add some form of cooking facility. Somewhere where you could potentially hire a chef of some kind to cook for the people here. Earn a little bit more on the side, and also allow any future staff members you hire to not have to make their own food, and thus potentially ruin any decorations, carpeting, tables, and so on, as some of them are prone to having accidents.
I mean, he's not wrong. We are looking. I believe that's one of the options we're looking into. What can we do, like currently? Where are we at currently, and what can we do from this point?
Is this me or Zuben?
This is you, Chris.
Okay.
Like we're at base tavern currently, right?
You've got base tavern, and you already have it booked in that you're going to have a kitchen, so that meets what he asked for.
Okay.
With how it is, you have 6 rooms currently available to you. One of the rooms is being occupied by the twins. Another room is being occupied by him. Another room is being occupied by the other guard. And then one will be occupied by a cook if you got one. And then depending on how things rotate would depend on what occurs during the night or day. With how it is, the tavern would not be open all hours. It would be open during the lunchtime, then it would go into the late night, and then it would close until morning. With how that is, the most that you could probably do right now is maybe buy a pantry. That would allow you to store more supplies of both food and drink. If you hired a chef, you'd be able to make food for the people in the tavern. You'd earn a little bit extra from that, potentially, depending on how you priced it. And then other than that, you could go into working into an inn, which would then probably expand well if you had a kitchen. But other than that, there wouldn't be much else.
Okay, so we're getting a kitchen, so I think we need to cook from that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the
Pantry
main
would be
thing.
good as well. We have, I believe, a certain amount of storage space.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you
I've
have,
been
you
hanging
have
on.
enough
Okay.
storage to store 1 thing of food and 3 to 4 things of drinking supplies.
5 things. What do you mean?
So supplies,
Like objects? Okay.
So when you buy, so one lot of supplies is like, I believe it's 10 gold pieces worth of supplies per week for food and 12 gold pieces of supplies for drink.
So we can store a week's worth of food. Then.
You can store 1 week's worth of food. However, if that runs out, you then won't have any for the remaining days. And because you don't have a pantry, that week, if not all of it goes through, the rest will be wasted.
Yeah.
So with a pantry, you'll be able to bring in foods that could be lasted longer, salted meats and that kind of thing, because they'll be able to store it properly, and you'll be able to store more food.
Right.
So yeah, it's not necessarily an emergency that we need to have it, but it's definitely.
It will be very environmentally friendly for you to have, because it means you won't waste as much if you are choosing to cook stuff.
Yes.
It also means that your staff members can cook stuff in the kitchen. Either with the supervision of the cook, or if the cook makes it, without potentially ruining portions of the building themselves by trying to cook.
Yeah, we discussed previously the possibility of adding like a cold room as well, freezer room.
That would come under part of the pantry, or if you wanted to extend it.
But I'm not sure that's a priority.
I'm just gonna like put something forward. I said, Chris, I wouldn't mention this because I wanted to hide it from you all, but I feel bad now. I do still have that 1000 GP fire opal, so we've got about 1000 GP left that I could probably like use in some smithing to up its price a little more in like a statue or something, or a piece of jewelry, and then sell that for money to like bankroll this if you want to.
That would certainly be helpful. How much money do we have?
In the bag of holding, you have 1,200 gold pieces worth of stuff, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
That is not.
2 copper.
Bhold has an entire
261 gold.
We have 1,450 something gold.
How do you have more?
Oh wait, I think that's right.
Oh, also
No.
the
Oh no, that's right, because we refunded some of the medical supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also the way into the Undercity, how's that coming along?
That is going to be finished on the day after at noon, on the second day at noon, which is when the guards will come in for recruitment.
Okie dokie. Did they manage to find a tunnel under there, or
they finished the basement and they finished the tunnel? Yes, but they didn't find a natural one. Well, they
Damn
didn't
it! I don't get my pistol back.
Yeah, they didn't find as much of as a natural tunnel. They found like pockets, but that doesn't count as a natural tunnel that cut out a lot of work.
Okay. No worries. Right. So, from that point then, yes, I can like tonight. I can use my artisan's blessing and like.
You having this conversation out loud, by the way? Because he's just standing there waiting.
No. This is like an out of character thing.
Yeah.
I can do that, and I can try and up the price, ever so minorly up the price of this fire opal, by shoving it into some jewelry and then selling it to someone for purposes. And then getting money for that, and having that be there to bankroll the improvement of the tavern, so that we've just got this tavern that just runs. Because I think with an injection of about 1,000 extra gold, we could be able to, I don't know, what do you say, run run about. I think we could manage to fit in like the cook, the kitchen, the pantry.
Provided things don't go terribly, you could run this tavern could probably run for about 30 weeks, even if it made no extra customers during that time.
Mm.
If it made no extra customers and the prices didn't change, you would be able to run it for 30 weeks before running into a cash problem.
Yeah, with that much money. Obviously, we want to like give it more stuff, but I think maybe we just get it set up with basics. Anyway, yeah, I'm taking too much time. Yeah.
But yes, if you were going to prepare anything, a cook would be welcome. For certain, I am not the best of cooks, but I can prepare some foods. I'm not going to be able to cook for more people and run the bar, but I can cook for myself and for the other staff if it comes down to it. But I can run the bar fairly effectively. With the number of seats you have here, if it does become full, it may be a little bit difficult for me to run the bar and tavern on my own. I may require a little bit of help. But in all honesty, depending on how that turns out, first of all, I should be able to manage for the first few weeks.
Yes, we're looking into more help to essentially get this place running pretty much autonomously from us, as we're going to be traveling a little bit.
I see. You're traveling away from home. I understand.
Mm-hmm. This will be our hub, as it were, but we will have other business to attend to in different parts of the empire, and
perfect.
potentially beyond.
So, have I got the job, or?
Oh yes, that I'm pretty sure that was not obvious. Oh, definitely.
Did you
Yes, I think
yes.
we're happy to take you on.
That is good. That is good to know. And you watch as he kind of reaches in, takes out a pocket watch, and proceeds to open it. Clicks the top of it, and you watch as he pulls out this suitcase from the inside of the pocket watch, closes it, puts it in, and says, "You can, if you have the room for me prepared, I will put my things away and get to work immediately. If that is okay with you."
That is perfectly fine by me.
I'll show him to his room.
Okay, you show him to his room.
Well, I'll show him to the rooms and let him pick.
Yeah,
unless there was one prepared.
It doesn't matter which room that he takes. He will, seeing as he wants to be relatively close to the bar, but he doesn't want to necessarily be close to. He doesn't necessarily want to be too close to it, just in case something would occur. I don't know, vandalism or an issue with guards.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to remain on a secure location, which is going to be on the inside, but it's going to be accessible to the bar fairly quickly.
Okay.
So he'll be located here. I will give him a quick tile. It's not going to be his tile, but it's a Dragonborn tile, so it'll do. Oh. He'll get one eventually, don't worry.
Sylvan.
Hey, that looks like the one that you fought, Bhold.
Whoa, really?
No, see, the moment you said brass dragon, I just thought Galus.
No.
Galus. Father Galus?
Yeah. He puts down his suitcase, he proceeds to open it up, and he packs the things in his wardrobe and so on. And after he's finished, he proceeds to head out through this area, and he proceeds to inspect the stock. Well, I will get to work, and I'll make sure that everything is ready for the day of opening. Just tell me when that is okay. If you supply me with, well, if you have basic store supplies, gold, that kind of thing, I can put in a running order for gold and so on. Get in contact with the local suppliers and so on if you need me to.
I think like no matter what, we leave him with like at least 300 gold just to tide him over until business starts like picking up.
Definitely.
Okay, I will put 300 gold in there for the storage. And then if someone would like to take 24 gold off of their total amount for the 2 lots of supplies you currently have stored for your opening day in preparation of. So,
How much?
24 gold out of the bag of holding, please. And you have 300 gold stored in there. Day goes by, he proceeds about his business, he inspects things, makes sure everything is okay. At certain times he has disappeared from the tavern, but on later times he has returned. You can ask him where he's been if you wish, otherwise he will go about his business.
I would.
Oh, well, okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, you ask him. I've got other stuff to.
Yeah. Well,
ask.
while you're out, when you're doing your potion making, you do hear someone come in through the front door. You're fairly certain it's Zuven from the sound of the footsteps and so on.
Alright, I'm gonna go out and greet him.
Oh, by the way, he would have asked all your names, and I assume you would all give
Oh, yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ah,
I'm Ghaakt.
My name is Bhold. No.
Sir
Ah,
Behold to you.
Sasha.
Elsyan.
Sir Behold.
okay.
No.
So he will call you
Sir
Sir.
Hold.
He plans to call all of you Sir or Madam something. So, just so you're aware. So as you walk into the room, you see that he puts down what looks to be a small kind of like crate of basic food supplies, that kind of thing. Cabbages, what looks to be a few salted meats and that kind of thing. And he puts them down. He carefully puts them down on the worktop. You see they're ever so slightly hovering with that blue ring underneath, being very careful not to scratch the worktop. He seems
By
to
the
be
way,
going about his business during this time as you walk in, Malcom. You were going to say, Sasha?
oh yeah, just all through the day, whenever Sasha sees Elsyan, can I use my thaumaturgy to just whisper shame? Just so that only
On the second day, it was later.
Elsyan
It was
can-
late during the second day you found this out, so it would be after the time skip.
Okay, after the time. Okay, well, keep that. Remember that in case I don't.
Yeah. He proceeds to go behind the bar, and you watch as he proceeds to unpack it, and you walk through the door, and he goes, "Ah, Sir Malcolm, good to see you. You having a good day, sir?"
Yes, I thought I'd take a little break from making potions. Come say hi.
Ah, I see.
So I noticed you disappeared a couple of times. I guess you went out and grabbed supplies or something?
Yes, I've been looking around the local area. I've been seeing what there is to see and trying to understand the people a little bit better. I've gotten to know a few of the local people, and they've been mostly curious to know a Dragonborn is in town, and I told them about this place, and I should be getting a few individuals in who I recognize and know. I've also been to visit my boss, make sure that she gets the word back to my family that just that I've arrived safely and that I will be helping out where I can.
See. I noticed you had a pseudo dragon with you.
Yes. And you watch as he scratches the underside of his golden pseudo dragon. This is Jubarash. It means book snout in Draconic.
Snout?
Book snout, yes.
Book snout?
Yep.
This is Kiskiritin.
Ah,
Petting.
Featherwing. Yes.
Feathering. Yes.
Pleasure to meet both of you. It's white pseudo dragon. They're fairly common in mountain ranges. Have you come from mountainous terrain before?
No, I come from the Barren Lands, actually.
See, I've heard of these barren lands. Hot kind of country.
Yes. It is particularly hot there.
It's mostly savanna, so yeah.
Yeah. But, I've found this guy in a pet shop. Some people captured him and brought him down here, and
Oh.
when I found him, I asked if he wanted to join me, and he agreed.
Oh, that is good to hear. I've also seen you walking around with a spider on your back.
Yes, Arachne.
I see. I guess you are one of the animals, no?
Yes. I'm a druid, if you didn't know.
Ah, I see. Yes, we have a few druids up north in Kjonendir. Not as many as we would like. Most of them live out in the frigid woods. But it is... I know of them, that is for certain. I met Jubarash up north, where I live. while I was in the military, we were investigating some egg thieves and some egg thefts. And when we got involved, we proceeded to find the culprits. A few of them had been killed by a rogue white dragon, and this little guy was apparently being clutched in the claws of the dragon. I got involved, and well, Jubrash became a friend. Jubrash is familiar if you don't know, and he likes to pop in and out. He certainly likes books, that's for sure. That's really what I'll be paying a little bit on first of all.
I see.
He's very much
I think
a
we've
reader.
got a. I think we've got a shelf of books somewhere, don't we, Malcolm? Fine reading material.
Denied.
You do. It's all about dragon history and smut.
This is the best combination of words ever.
Exactly.
Welcome to the new sexy history lesson.
No.
History hedonism.
The Draconic edition. Brrr.
But yes, it is good to know there are others who do like dragons in this place, and it'll be interesting working for you all, and beginning to understand all of you. I've seen your Sir Bhold coming through a few times. He seems to be, every time he comes back, he looks more like he's rougher and rougher. Is he some fighter of some kind?
Yes, he is. He doesn't usually dress the way that he did when we first saw him.
So it is good to know that it was a special occasion when he spoke to me.
Yes.
By the way, the regular attire that he's wearing now just looks to be a regular t-shirt with a waistcoat on over the top. Seems to have a pair of trousers which accommodate for his tail, going a small portion of the way down before kind of looping off at the end, or about halfway down his tail. He wears a set of spectacles on, which currently keep attempting to slide off of the blunt portion of his nose. But he has what looks to be a small chain that attaches it to his upper pocket, so if they do fall off, they just hang there.
See. I was wondering, what made you, stop working as a soldier?
Well, in the military, things are a bit back and forth. Up north, you generally want the prime Dragonborns to be the ones who lead the front line. Those who are all generally join the higher ranks, and if they don't make the cut, then they just join society. I, personally, didn't want to join the higher ranks. It was a bit much. I preferred being more of a support individual. I would help those on the front line without getting directly involved in the killing if possible. We had a few instances with dragons where I saw some people I knew and I was close to either fall in battle or be badly injured. And I knew that if I ended up becoming a higher up, I may see more of those who I cared about in the lower ranks falling battle also. I chose to live more of a sheltered life.
I see.
I was brought here, I was unemployed at the time, and the boss proceeded to offer me a job. Said that there was a group of individuals who apparently had a lot of connections, and that they were looking to hire a barkeeper, and, well, she said she offered me up as a individual, and I thought, well, I might as well. I owe her a great debt, but I will pay that off slowly but surely.
Well, good. I'm glad that we were actually able to hire you. It seemed like you will fit in pretty well. So
that is good to hear. As the rest of the day goes by, you proceed on as you were. So, to the other hiring processes, who was not attending that? I believe you were all attending the twins, but were you all attending the other one?
how long would they take?
Wait, there's another one?
There's an hour between them, yeah. So there's the
Who was
twins,
the other
there's
one?
the twins, and then there's the one that Queglod is relatively familiar with.
I don't think I need an
I
hour.
don't know about the one Craig.
I don't
Well, no,
think
you'd
I-
be able
That's
to
the,
you'd be able to
um,
take the break, continue working, then take another break. So
Yeah, but I don't think I really need to. So I think I'll just. Actually, you know what? No, I'll just show up for both.
so we got Sudz for both. Sasha, were you
Yeah,
gonna
I'll
be
show
there
up.
for both?
As long as it wouldn't like cut into the time
No,
of like
You'll be fine.
looking off of like doing anything important.
Elsyan's going through a psychopathic meditation rave in the library.
Psychopathic meditation rave.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's okay and a good sum up of what's going on there, Elsyan.
I mean, accurate.
Well, we can't
but at
hear
the
him,
same
so I
time.
guess so. Queglod, you're going to be there for both?
I will attempt to be there for both, yes.
Okay. Bhold, you the same?
I will be higher than.
Bhold will be the one who hires them. Okay. And Ghaakt, will you be there for both?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
Take a break from attempting this sheet music.
So, yeah, indeed. Taking your breaks and proceeding to set yourself up, you set up the table once again. Zuven is currently behind the bar, and he goes, if you've got your appointments, would you like me to stay out of the way, or would you prefer me to be here when it takes place?
Well,
I'd like him to stick around. I think he's going to see some wild shit
Mm.
when those
Yep.
twins get here.
you're going to be working with them, so I feel it only makes sense for you to get to know them.
That is a good idea. I am okay with this.
And if you have any questions for them, or they have questions for you, it would be best to get them out of the way as soon as possible.
Understood. And he proceeds to maintain his position behind the bar again. So,
Queglod, could you do the thing I asked you?
Yes. So where are they entering them?
main entrance here.
Okay, I am going to be waiting for them outside the front door.
Okay.
Anyone who wants to meet them with me there may join me.
Sure. why
Sasha's there, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like fun.
Okay.
Behold, staying inside.
To Behold staying inside. Okay. I don't know what you've
I
got.
will
I don't know
stay.
what you've got planned, and I'm partially scared, but it's fine.
You know.
I'm inside.
I
but I'm
don't.
peeking
I
out the
haven't been
window.
told. I've been told nothing. I'm scared from my NPCs that you're going to kill the twins. All right. So,
Well, I hope you haven't made them weak.
so, walking up to this, you see what looks to be a cart pull up outside. Fairly basic cart with 2 horses out the front, and you watch as a relatively tall humanoid individual climbs out of the back of the cart and proceeds to stop there, kind of looking at the outside of the building before noticing you all standing at the doorway. You see the individual is a humanoid in nature. You know better than this, Queglod. You know that they are a Yanti. You're not sure entirely on what kind of Yanti they would be, but you're aware that they are due to the nature of who was hiring them. They're human in shape. He stands what looks to be a little shorter than 6 foot tall. He has what looks to be black dreadlocks currently tied up in a ponytail behind his head, which go down about to where his shoulder blades would be. He has what looks to be thick black tattoos coming from the bottom portions of his eyes and going underneath what is a mask that covers his mouth and nose. His eyes will look to be, from this distance, they seem to be some kind of dull yellow with the slits in them, similar to that of a serpent's. And he wears what looks to be a long pearly white arm sleeves. No shirt, just the sleeves themselves that are currently tied off with several strings at the front and connect at the back.
It's like the opposite of a vest.
Effectively, yeah. And the rest of his chest is bare. You see that he has a good amount of muscle on him, and you see that the tattoos continue down the right side in a similar kind of warish pattern. He also wears what looks to be simple baggy trousers, currently billowing slightly in the wind of the day, And he has a sheathed sword currently held by a belt around his waist near his spine that's currently stationed in a horizontal angle, easy to reach and then draw from the side. He takes a step forward. So, I take it you're expecting me then?
Ah, yes. You must be the guard then.
Aurochs Blackvein. I've seen you before. You are
Yeah.
Queglod, am I correct?
That is correct, yes.
Good to know. Excellent. So, what should I do?
Well, so this is the establishment that we are looking to provide security for. If you don't mind, we'd like to perform a relatively short test just to get a sense of your aptitude for the job.
I understand.
We've no doubt that you shouldn't have too much difficulty with it, but all the same, we'd like to get to know exactly what sorts of things you can handle.
Understood.
Okay. With that in mind, one of our number is waiting inside to provide the tests for you. Even I don't know exactly what they have planned, but
That's encouraging.
yeah, he's a
Oh god.
he's a particularly fearsome warrior and wants to get to know exactly what sorts of things you can handle.
Remind us, who exactly is this?
This is
Like
Aurochs
was-
Blackvein, the Yanti that was hired. The one by the
No,
one...
I meant which one of our party is inside.
Bhold.
Bhold.
Okay, I was scared it was going to end up being Elsyan after all that hype, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, Elsyan
Just-
just shows up with like dark eyes with like with like bags under his eyes. Just turns up, sees the guy's head explodes, and just walks inside.
Oh goodness.
Yes, I only want you to be aware of what's likely to happen once you step inside. The test may begin at any time.
Due to the nature of this challenge, I will not draw my sword. I'll leave this to whatever test your friend has.
All right then.
After
I'll
you.
gesture to the door. Okay. I'll.
I mean, if you feel the need, don't hold back. I can fix up pretty much anything other than death.
Noted.
Okay. I'll
I'll keep
go
that in
first,
mind, but I will try not to kill my employees or employers.
Employers.
I mean,
Guess what,
Yeah.
kids? I'm the boss now. Get to
Queglod's
work.
opening the door and he's behind her, right?
Yeah, I'll walk in first since I'm.
should we
Not
move
tall
our
enough to
things
be hit
onto
easily.
like the?
Alright. So as soon as Queglod opens the door and he's behind her, a chair is flying out
Okay. Make an
at
attack.
full speed,
Make an attack roll.
and then followed by a bola.
Okay, make an attack roll then.
Okay.
Okay.
That's,
And make the bowler attack then, please. Okay.
It's a 12 and a...
As Queglod moves in, being unaware of this, she kind of...
I'm aiming up because not to hit Queglod.
No, I mean, but this is what gives it away. As Queglod walks in, she looks over and she sees you, Bhold, and immediately he catches onto that. You, the rest of you following behind, notice that he catches onto that very quickly, and you watch as from his long sleeves that currently cover his arms, he reaches up, and as the chair flies round to hit him, he catches the chair in midair with one hand, seemingly, and you watch as Bhold turns the corner and flings a bowler at his head. He raises the chair to stop it, but catches one of the bowlers as it spins round, where it would have impacted his head. He proceeds to put the chair down and proceeds to slide it to one side as he advances towards you. Would you like to do anything?
Hold, you're untangling that later.
What is me?
Yeah, he's darting towards you at this point.
Alright.
Oh.
I'm going to... There's a table right next to it. I'm going to sit down in the chair and put my arm forward.
Okay, so as he's lunging towards you, you just casually sit down and put your arm forward.
As an arm wrestling match.
This is so unfair. He stops and he sits down opposite you. Oh no, he doesn't actually. He would stand up and he goes, Are you sure you want to do this?
Behold's gonna lose.
There's gotta be a test.
He sits down and you watch as he pulls back the sleeves. It's not a hand or an arm, it's 4 snakes. And you watch as all of them bite into the back of your hand, each latching on, and you feel the grip and the force of this.
When you say like bite, do you mean like physically
They
bite
physically bite into the back of his hand, yes.
Right. I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna rage.
So is he.
Snake hands!
So is he.
I'm going to squeeze his hand as strong as I can.
His hand? You mean one
His
of the snakes?
His snake.
All of the snakes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay, well, make your strength check with advantage, as he will, because he is also raging.
What did I miss? It just went.
Okay, within the first thing, you kind of squint from it. What is your total, by the way? That's a +5, isn't it? So that's an 11.
Yeah, strength check, yeah.
Okay. With his +5 also, he has 23. As you go to push against, there's an immediate push and a shove. The 4 snakes battle all with each other, simultaneously pushing down with immense strength, far stronger than any human hand you've ever faced before. And as it pushes down, you get extremely close to the table, seemingly caught off guard. Go again.
Some strong snakes.
Rip Behold.
Indeed.
I had 20.
20? 24. As he pushes against you, he pushes closer and closer to the table. At this point, he's got a mask on. You don't see a grin. He seems very concentrated on this, though. Go again. This is the last one. If you fail, he wins. Okay.
22.
This time you win. He gets a total of 12. Pushing back, you push a little bit up, and you watch as his eyes meet yours this time. And you watch as his gaze begins to become a little bit stronger, and he gives a nod of approval. And you get a sense that he is smiling under there. Go again. It's a 21 on my part.
21 on my part.
No, 18's higher.
18.
So 20.
Oh, wait, 18, so 23.
23. You were fairly evenly matched. Holding against, he is still technically winning on his side, even though it's a little bit more in the middle now, after all of that. But it is getting going back to the beginning now. Alright, go again. Okay.
Nope. 12.
23. With the immense strength, once again, he kind of loosens his grip slightly and he lets it fall to his side before swinging it round, pushing it, almost your hand, into the back of the table. You feel just about the edge as your hairs, ever so small as they are, begin to touch the back of the table. The sensation of it right there. Go again. Oh no!
He rolled a nat 1.
Even if he did, he's got advantage. Okay.
So that's my
Nat
damage.
1.
That's a 7 on his part.
Oh.
2 natural 2s.
Ooh, that's a
16.
16 on
You
it.
begin to push back against him. He's again relieving his position back to the center again. Give me a sec. I just got to check. Can he do anything?
What do you mean?
Frankly, I think the snakes should all have individual roles.
That's okay.
That's a bit much. Yeah, I'm just.
No, you gotta quarter it.
I'm just quickly checking if he actually gets anything for this.
What do you mean, does he get anything?
He's not a frenzied barbarian.
Oh, he's a big.
Okay. Never mind. Nothing will occur because it doesn't matter. Alright, so he gets to roll. Okay, you rolled exactly the same, both 16s. So you tie on this one as you begin to hold your position in the middle. He is strong, much like you, also holding his position. Go again.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay, that one wins versus his natural 15. As you push back against him, now he is losing on his side. Go again.
19.
That is an 18 on his side. As you begin to push ever so slightly, he's getting close. It's at this point he looks down and he kind of looks back up at you. Doesn't say anything, but he just stares. Go again.
So he sees my white pupils. Or not even no pupils.
No pupils as you're just in a blind rage.
Yeah. Oh, no.
You got what I got!
The double 2!
You get the double 2 as well! Alright, well I got 20, so... That's 20 versus 7 as he swings back up to the meeting position. Alright, go again. This could go on for hours.
Oh, 23.
23, is that all? Natural 20. As he proceeds to push against you, pushing back onto his side, pushing not as close to the edge as he would like, but a fair distance, gaining ground. Go again.
Oh, so close.
Winning once again on 17. He begins to push back, gaining ground.
Oh, you're close now.
Yep. 1 or 2 more away.
Oh.
16 on my part, 9 on yours. He pushes. You are ever so close to the edge. It is at this point that both of your rages end. Actually, no. They don't. They both continue, don't they? Until
No, they continue until...
They continue until nothing else would occur. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought it lasted a minute. Okay. Oh man.
17.
18.
Come on!
And with one final touch and push, your hand is bested against the surface of the table. He releases his grip, and as he does, you watch as one of the snakes begins to lightly lick the wounds, and you watch as a very small portion of venom is drawn out and onto the face of the tongue, where he pulls his arms back and into his sleeve. Apologies if I caused you any discomfort in your hand for a couple of days, but I don't have hands.
I have snakes!
How do you pick things up? They must taste awful.
I put my hand forward as if to shake him and tell him he's hired.
He proceeds to wrap the snake around your hand, knowing full well that if he bites you again, that's not going to go down well. So he just puts the snake into your hand, and he shakes, he pulls his hand away, and it is good to see that you understand my strength as I understand yours. That was close. I could have been bested fairly easily if it wasn't for a few extra pushes on my part.
It's kind of hard to get a grip on those snakes.
Indeed.
It's so squishy and snaky.
But are there no other tests you wish for?
I think you passed everything. You can stand and watch for the rest, or the other 2 that are coming.
I care to do so as well, yes. One thing I do have a curiosity about. I was told there is both an underground passage and the doorway into the tavern. Do you have any idea which one you'd prefer me to guard?
I believe we said the underground passage for him.
Yeah, the underground.
I believe that would make sense.
Understood. That fits me perfectly fine. Well, I hope you have fun on your next test, and I will be watching also. You watch as he looks over at Zuvin. Zuvin gives a nod, and he walks over, and they begin to have a small talk with each other.
Although when you think about it, when you go down an underground passage and at the end you see 2 twins just standing there by the door, that's going to creep you the fuck out. That's just spooky. Come and play with us.
So, about another hour passes. Your next individual is just about arriving. You doing the same procedure again?
Yes, I am.
With the other hand this time.
I'm double-handing them this time.
Make sure
2 at a time.
Yep.
Make sure to bandage up that hand at least.
Yeah. Sasha takes care of the wounds. It's fine.
The snakes aren't poisonous, are they?
They licked out the venom.
Yeah, they licked it out.
Now, before you say that's not how that works, they licked enough of it out that Bhold won't have a problem. His constitution's high.
It would be a bit puffy.
Yeah. After about an hour passes, you see two individuals currently wrapped in cloaks and hoods both walk up. They're identical height as they both walk up.
Okay.
You can see just about
these
the
two must
ends
be
of their snouts pointing out from underneath their hoods.
I got their names.
They call you Fred and you George.
Well,
Um,
it is Peneva and Vardra.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, if you wanted their files, did you want the file on Borox?
They just send like all of the files on.
Well, I can't because there's stuff in here you're not supposed to know.
I'll just copy the stuff.
I'll do it later then. So, as the two of them approach, you do anything?
Greetings. You two must be the twins.
That is
Penova.
that is
and
indeed
Varda.
correct.
Well,
I am
We were-
Peneva. This is my sister, Vardra.
are they both girls or guys or one? Or is are they both girls
They're
or is
sisters.
one of them? Okay.
They're
They're the
sisters.
Silvastra sisters.
We just said twins. We didn't say identical twins. It could have been either way.
They're the Silvastra sisters, is what they're called in their
Okay.
file. But Malcolm's the only one
Excellent.
who knows that, because nobody else is interested.
Yep.
Bhold has no clue they're girls, so no holding back.
What are these files people talk about?
You know what? I'm gonna do an insight check to see whether I notice.
Okay.
They're snakes.
I will say with disadvantage because, as Ghaakt says, they are snakes. They don't have as public gender as, say, a human does.
They're not snakes. They're lizards.
Fine,
Don't
they're
be
lizards.
racist.
Close.
Don't-
This is
I
my
believe
world,
that
not what
comes
I
to
wanted
The
to do.
point still
It
stands.
still stands.
A 16. A 16 altogether.
You cannot tell.
Ooh.
I know that one's a what that was it Varda that was a sister that they said was a sister or was
Yeah,
it his
Vardra is the sister. Peneva, you have no idea about then.
right. Well,
I know
why
one of them
don't
is
you-
the sister, and I still screwed it up.
now we've got we've got a little test for you. With it, one of our members inside will be running. We aren't certain exactly what it will be, but you're allowed to use any of your most valuable skills to complete it.
yes, we'd like to get a sense of exactly what you can handle.
I've got a pretty good
And-
idea of what it's going
and
to be.
how you could handle it.
I feel
Again,
for the
you
one.
don't necessarily have to play exactly by the intended rules, just so long as you do your best. Even if you don't succeed, so long as you put in a good showing, that's all that really is required. Also, it appears that our tester has just disappeared.
Hello?
So
Hello. We can do that.
It said in chat I disconnected, but I'm still in game. There we
wait,
go. Now I can.
wait for it. Yeah,
Weird.
fine. Sasha throws a fucking chair at them.
Okay.
As the 2
I'll
of them,
take you all on.
as the two
It
of them,
falls over instantly.
as the two of them stand there, you watch as the one who's hold on, which
I'm
one?
kidding, I'm
Which
not
one
throwing
is
a chair.
which? Okay. You watch as the one who is, as you know to be the sister, takes off her robe and proceeds to pass it to the other sister, who pulls back her hood. Looking at them now, Peneva is a crimson scaled Slaverian. She has what looks to be, from what you can generally tell, where she takes off her coat and kind of packs it in with the other one, she has dense biceps. They seem to be not muscular as in strength, but muscular as in well worked.
Toned.
Yeah, like
current-
a dancer or a runner's muscle.
Yeah,
Well,
that kind of thing.
An athlete's body.
Yeah. She seems to have, over the majority of her body, as both of them do, what looks to be like a thick netting that covers the majority of their body, like sleeves and so on, with the exception of patches of like thick leather armor that covers their main torso and their waist regions, along with a portion of their tail.
It's like a hairnet for dead scales.
Yes, effectively. You also see on Peneva, around her waist, she has a belt that currently has what looks to be several daggers currently displayed and in positions around her waist. You see that she has her left eye is a topaz yellow and her right eye is an opal white. She has what looks to be a set of 2 curved horns, both of which which are mostly pushed back, curving down the back of her neck. And on her left horn, you see what seems to be a carving of some kind of symbol. On Vardra, the other sister, you see the same kind of thing, but their eyes are reversed. Her left eye is an opal white, and her right eye is a topaz yellow, whereas on her right horn is a carving of something on it. Her horns seem to be a little bit shorter than the other than her sister's, but they are pushed back slightly.
Question: when we say like opal white, like as in blind opal white, or opal
No,
white
as in like it's a whitish, like kind of think like pearly, glassy white almost.
How do you spell Slitharian?
Slitharian. Slitharian.
Like someone really misspelled Slytherin.
I got this, and it's just giving me some sort of weird worm.
Look
for
for
an
lizard
iOS.
folk. They are lizard folk, but Slitharian is my own custom name because they are modified, and that was the name of them in the previous D&D I used to play. So, and you watch it, and on Vardra you see that she has what looks to be slightly lighter leather armor to her. It's darker in color, but it is generally quite a bit lighter. Excuse me. And they both look at each other and they look at you, Sasha. So when do we begin? Now?
If you're prepared now.
Just come inside.
You watch as Penniver looks at Vardra and Vardra disappears.
Wait,
Well,
what?
I mean that's one way to do it.
You watch as the door opens. Behold, you watch as the door opens, but no one comes in.
Hit it with the chair.
Still throwing a chair because as soon as the door opens, the chairs are flying out. 2 of them this time.
Okay. Make an attack roll with disadvantage on both of them, please. First one, no. You throw it, it almost hits Sasha, but it like hits the ground and like skids to a hole.
No.
Oh!
The second one, as you throw this, it is going straight for Queglod. And as it's going to hit Queglod, you watch as this would be Penniver takes a step forward and catches it. You watch as she lowers the chair to the ground. She goes into a monk stance.
Alright. Bhold pulls out both of the bowlers and throws them.
Okay. As you go to throw both of the bowlers, you're held in place. Actually, no. You get a saving throw versus this. I believe it's a wisdom saving throw for hold person.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be with disadvantage then, because she is imposing disadvantage on you.
You're not smart enough to not get grabbed.
This versus her DC.
Oh!
No.
No!
No. As you go to throw the bowler, you hold into place and you can't throw the bowler, and you watch as a form unveils next to you as you see the sapphire scaled Slitharian standing there, currently wearing the same clothes as her sister, but obviously a different scaled color.
Oh, well done there. Very good.
They both cross their arms, and you watch as Penniver walks in, disarms you, taking both the bowlers, lays them on the table next to you, and her sister dispels the whole person.
Alright. Well, good job. I sit down on the table and put both of my arms on.
That's almost as good as just them walking in, and then as soon as everyone else walks through the door, Behold's already on the floor.
Effectively. Okay.
No, they stay outside. We go in. He's on the floor.
In which case,
Well, like the door closes and then open, and like the door just sort of like flaps open and close, and as it does so, it just like Behold's there, then it opens up again, and he's on the floor.
As they both kind of stand there, they look at each other, and you watch as the Sapphire Scaled one says, "Would it not Would it not be better to fight us one at a time?
I'm fine with both at the same time.
It would be more beneficial for us. And for you.
Why is that?
No, they
You
make a
see,
fair point. We need to
They
get
don't
a
have an
sense of
answer to
their...
that.
we're not very good on our own. But when we work as a pair, we can. I will not interfere, but I can assist in some way.
It would be a good idea. It would be good to get a sense of...
Yeah, I just want to get the sense of your strength.
Okay. And you watch as one of them sits, as they both sit down, they both grab a hand. Go ahead and make a strength check. One for each. This is not with advantage because you're trying to do both arms at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, well this is going to go interestingly. Okay.
A 7 and a 22.
Well, the 7 does lose
To a what?
to a 12. She has a -1 in strength. So, as she grabs your hand, she begins to push against you. She's like, huh? And she notices that all of the strength is going into the other one. She's like, oh, okay. And her sister, she's trying the best she can. She got a total of 20 with a natural 18. And she's just being pushed back. Go again. Oh no! As before.
13 and a 9.
The 9 wins versus a total of 0. Natural 1 on her part. As you realise, oh, she's weak, you push against her, she's like, my hand. She's like being pushed back. It's the easiest thing you've ever arm wrestled. You could finish that one off easily and then focus on the other one. The other one, she is struggling, but you are still ever so slightly gaining ground as you go through. She rolled a natural 8 as well. Go again.
Both or just one?
Both.
9 and a 21.
Okay, well you win again versus both of them because that's a natural 4 from each of them. So that's a 3 and a 6. You finish both of them off simultaneously as both of their arms get pulled away down to the base of the table.
Alright.
We aren't very strong on our own.
Yeah. That's fine. I just wanted to get a feel for it.
Also to make up for the loss from the last one.
Yes, I need to get some morale.
Well,
Alright. Well,
At this one, like, Borox is currently sat on a stool, kind of inspecting them, kind of just keeping an eye.
I look at Borox actually.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say?
They're skilled enough to take you down, quickly and efficiently. I would have done the same if you hadn't have sat down for the arm wrestle, but they moved faster and silently compared to me. I'd say if you're dealing with rowdy customers, someone who's quick to act would be good. Someone who's got the ability to subdue someone. If you're looking at, say, someone with strength, they're not the ones you're after, but they seem to have the skills to be able to take someone down.
then again, someone less physically imposing might be less likely to incite rebellion against rowdy customers.
Scareaway customer.
Yes. There is one thing we'll need to be aware
Especially since
of.
if you don't know they're there.
Yes. To what extent... What is the extent of your magical capacity? Directed at both of them.
You watch as the Crimson One looks over and says, I cannot cast magic. I'm simply here for physical form. I'm good at taking down targets quickly and effectively. Well, keeping them under control. My sister, father, nodding to the Sapphire Scaled one, I'm more capable in the arcane arts. I've worked as an apprentice for a while, but I specialize more in, well, trickster. And she pulls out a dagger, and you watch as she goes to cast Mage Hand, and you watch as Zuvan, kind of not really noticing straight away, this tankard float up and then proceeds to move across the room as he looks over and proceeds to try and fight the Mage Hand. You notice that he does lose.
What?
As her Mage Hand pulls it closer and she holds it in place.
Well,
You know from general understanding that she's probably an arcane trickster rogue. And the other one is some kind of monk, you're not entirely sure what.
Interesting.
Due to their Mage Hand being naturally stronger.
Hmm. Well, I certainly think that a physically imposing but equally effective, if not more so in some cases, would be an excellent face of our tavern. Very in keeping with the whole theme of the whole shrouded part of the Shalia.
It seems fitting, yes.
Many secrets here.
Question: What is was it Oryx that was talking currently, or is it
Borox was the one on the chair, kind of. He's not saying at the moment.
Is Zuvan in house for his
Oh
opinion?
yeah, he just had his mug stealed from him.
Okay.
Mug stealed?
Stolen.
Stole
There we
it.
go.
Stole it.
Taken it.
They took it from us.
They
Precious.
took it from us. Filthy little hobbitses.
Stupid fat hobbitses.
That's creepy. That's really creepy, Chris.
This is fine.
Because I'm
It's like-
imagining you, Chris, and you know what? That makes perfect sense. I see your face and the general posture.
It's like Andy Serkis is in the room with us right now.
Oh God!
Alright, so.
It's like being outside the library all over again.
Yes, it is. Anyway. I mean, if I'm taking the underground passage and they'd be taking the surface tavern, it would be fitting for them to be able to deal with customers.
Their teamwork is pretty good.
I generally agree. They are Slytherians from Kionendir? The two of them nod. If they were from Kionendir, I know the general customs there. I'll be able to make sure that they remain under control. Or should I say, control is probably the wrong word. That they work to the best of their abilities when necessary.
But even though they failed the arm wrestle, they still passed the test. So, congratulations, you're hired.
The two of them look at each other and they just nod. And with the sacks that they'd brought with them, they just had slung over their shoulders. You take them to their room?
Yes.
Okay.
Since I'm heading that way anyways.
Taking them to their room, the Slytherians will take... where this is Zuvan's room. They will take the room... Actually, they'll take the room furthest up here, so that way they can... own this domain up here.
Yeah, and then
And the Yanti folk, I don't really have a good tile for him, so let's just go with...
Generic human.
No, he's not, though.
Close enough.
No, it's not, though. That's good.
Close enough, Chris.
Let's just use this, it's fine. He is going to take the room which is furthest away from everybody else.
Oh, look, it's Stephanie.
No, yeah, it's Stephanie.
So, with that taken care of, how many days do you plan to stay in town? And when do you plan to open? Tonight?
We've
got
got the
basics,
capabilities, like...
We got the basics to actually open, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're planning on doing like a grand opening, we'd probably want to get a cook sorted for that. But we can like open and serve drinks and stuff.
Yeah, I think we should open as soon as possible as
Yeah.
to be able to provide a place for people to go to.
Definitely, yeah.
We should have a
It's
little
gonna
bit
be
of
like a
opening.
small opening and like a pre-open, and then when we're ready to make
Yeah,
the
yeah,
grand
yeah.
opening.
Okay, so you
Then
so
we
you
release it in early access.
so you so you
This
spread
is an alpha.
so you spread the,
Carchalia beta.
yeah, so you're going to spread the word,
I
pre-open
mean,
it
it's got
so
a
that
bigger
people can
roster than
buy.
usual early access things.
Pre-open.
Pre-open it, and then that way people can come in and buy drinks still. They can get to know it, and the numbers will build, and then you do an official
like
opening
an
once you've got
yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so
10
in which case, are you guys looking to hire a cook?
Yes.
a cook would actually be nice.
Okay, I am adding the food supplies to your total amount. It is minus 10 GP.
But I know a good place to
Eventually, we're
hire
just going to be losing thousands a week. It's gonna be
Fucked up. We fucked up. Should have gotten Jen as our barkeep.
No, we couldn't.
Why not?
Literally impossible.
Yeah. Alright, so food supplies and cook. So with the cook, how much do you pay them per week? Where's my document?
Probably 15.
Yeah, 15 GP a week. So 15 GP a week for them. Are you going to have a pantry built?
That is a good
I
question.
guess
It's
so.
200
guess
gold
so.
for the pantry. So
Right.
having the pantry built, that will be done over the next day. So if you want to mark 200 gold out of the bag of holding.
I'm
Sasha, if you're wanting to make a object out of it, I would like you to make a blacksmithing check with advantage using your artisan's blessing. And then I will mark that you are
yeah.
getting basic food supplies. Ooh,
okay. Taking out 200, it's 145 right now.
I would if I didn't
Before
have
I
to.
take
I
out a
was still
platinum.
actually in game yet.
you take 20 out of your platinum.
20 out of platinum, and then for the 20, 20 would be 2.
What do you mean?
Just to let you know, I have to go in like a moment.
That's fine.
Yeah, if we're just finishing up.
Yeah, we'll be finishing up soon, don't worry.
Sure.
So, 200. So it will be 200 gold for the pantry. And that will be built over the next day, and you'll get an next cook in. So, with regards to your cook, are you going to put out a notice, or are you going to go in hunting for somebody?
I'd say put out a notice, but
Okay. When are you setting the hiring day? In 1 or 2 days, or?
well, the next day after the thing is when the seers are in town, right?
Yes.
So I won't be available for hiring on that day, I imagine.
I think we wait for the day
I
after,
can-
so it has
Well,
time
you can
to
be there in the
percolate.
earlier.
Yeah,
version.
as well.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
do it early.
We also
I
want
mean-
time for people to like respond.
And I can do the cooking part to
Okay.
see if they're good
So-
enough.
Yeah.
The tasting
Waiting
part.
3 days then?
Okay.
Okay. You put up a notice around town, you spread the word through your patrons also that you're looking for a cook. Over the course of the first few days, your patrons, the people who you have come in, the majority of them seem to be the dwarves, the ones who are building the establishment. They seem to be spending a large portion of their money there, and they're enjoying themselves. They're generally just enjoying the atmosphere. The twins seem to be getting along perfectly fine. They haven't had any rowdy customers. They haven't had any stink eye from any of the other people around the room. They seem to be getting on perfectly fine. Zuven also seems to be fitting in pretty well as well. He's been serving the drinks fairly effectively, and people are starting to like claim regular spots over the course of the next 2 or 3 days. You bring the first lot of food in. So if you want to put 20 gold off for the food supplies, which would be 2 platinum, and the pantry gets built. Okay, so this is important. 2
Yes.
days after the time skip. So the time skip has taken place, and 2 days have passed. During that time, you do your you speak to the oracles. Queglod. During that
Okay.
time, do you want to do that at the beginning of next session, or do you want to do that off stream?
I don't mind. I don't know how much I'm going to be about
Okay.
next week.
We'll do that at the
So,
beginning of next session then.
Sure.
Malcolm,
Yes.
as the third day after this happens, the day when you're hiring your cook, you get up in the morning, you make breakfast, and everything's going perfectly fine, and suddenly you feel a surge of power within you. Do you resist it, or do you embrace it?
I'm gonna embrace it.
Okay. I would like everybody to leave and go to general, please. After this, I will then proceed to do I will cut it there, and we'll do the hiring of the cook next session. But I will ask for everybody to come back after I've done this little bit. Won't be long.
Yeah. Okay, but I've really got to.
That's fine. If you want to head off, that's fine. We'll close. It's not that big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. In that case,
Yeah.
I will see you guys.
I'll see you later, and we'll speak to you then.
See ya. Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah. I was just saying bye to Simon. Okay. If you guys all want to
Oh.
go to wait, well, except for Sudz.
Okay.
Okay.
What I miss?
Okay.
Okay.
As you feel this well of power within you, your eyes go dark. And you feel a heavy push against your front as you realize that you've collapsed on the floor. Your vision dissipates, you hear the sound of your friends as they hear you crash onto the floor and just into general subconsciousness, falling unconscious into the ground. Their voices fade, and there's a voice. So you are the one.
The one what?
The one that's been chosen, of course. You have the blood in you, after all.
What blood are you talking about?
Dear me. If you don't know that, that makes things rather difficult. Look, at this point you watch as your vision clarifies, and you see yourself in a field of gold. You look around, and as you realize that it isn't golden wheat, it isn't golden savannah, it is literal gold pieces. Piles upon piles.
Lots of gold.
And as you look around, you see one very clear thing up ahead. Crystals, gemstones, a huge pile of them ahead of you. Ripe for the taking. What do you do?
Do I see anything else?
Not currently, no.
Do I feel like I'm being drawn towards the crystals?
Partially, yes.
Then I guess I go with it and go towards them.
Ah, yes. Come closer so I can see you a bit better. Ah, yes, you do look very much like your grandfather. Has been a time.
My grandfather?
Yes, of course. I mean, your aunt is like you, but you're you. You're the next in line.
Hold on. I'm super confused. I don't really know anything about my family.
Oh, I see. Ah, so that's what he said. Ah, I see then. Well, I suppose I had better show myself then. And you watch as the crystals and gemstones begin to shift, and you watch as a large form rises out of them. A large crystal dragon.
Crystal dragon?
Gemstones jutting out of its shoulders, its wings unfurl into these large crystalline forms, but seemingly able to move. The ever so slight grinding of them as he pulls his wings back in. Yes, indeed. Good. You get a better look at me now, and I get a better look at you.
crystal dragon.
Yes.
I've never. Have I ever heard of a crystal dragon before?
What was that again, sorry?
Have I ever heard of a crystal dragon before?
Not to your knowledge, no.
I've never heard of a crystal dragon before.
Oh, that's a shame. It does make sense, though. I'm one of the last of my kind. We're fairly rare. We used to live deep within the earth, but we've since grown out of that bond, and we've come to the surface. Well, I did at least. My parents didn't agree with it, but they're long gone now, and so am I.
Wait, you're dead?
Yes, well, passed on, really. Yes, well, it's interesting. You see, when we crystal dragons die, we leave ourselves behind. No, that makes no sense. It's ancestors waking today, the beginning of, the day when my powers can finally reach the next heir.
I see. And that's what you were talking about?
Yes, you're the next heir, and myself/son/daughter, I don't know yet, will probably want to meet you at some point.
Who? Alright. Heir to what exact?
I don't know. I was just told there was an heir, and that I was your chosen. Well, you were my... Yes, I was your chosen.
I am super confused right now.
That's understandable. Just follow the general... Just follow your instincts. They will be sending someone to meet you when you reach where you need to be, and they'll take you to me-ish. Yes. Just say my name. I am Shattercrest.
Shattercrest?
Yes. I'm fairly old. No, I'm dead. I'm fairly old, yes. But yes, I was told to contact you. I apologize if I hijacked your body for a bit. I don't know my own strength at this time of year.
It's okay. Do you know where I'm supposed to go?
Some kind of old dragon nursery thing.
Oh, dragon nursery. Oh, that's the what did the dragon call it again? The dragon sanctuary?
Yeah.
You mean the dragon sanctuary?
Yes, that's the one.
Ah, yes, I was told about that place from a white dragon.
Well, he probably got the message. I haven't been contacting anybody, but if they sent you towards that area, it probably means you've been told to go there. I would go there. It's where I am.
Still making no sense, but I'm sure everything will be cleared up when I get there.
Yes, it will be. Yes, just say Shattercrest. They'll know who that is. Do you know the old fella who runs it?
Let's see. That would be Gravel Snot, the Grand Keeper.
Gravel Snout, yes.
Oh,
Snout, yes. Gravel Snot.
Look, I didn't have the U.
That's fine. Yes, Gravel Snout. He's the Grand Keeper of it. Just tell him Shattercrest sent you, and he'll know what to do.
Okay.
He may be confused. Tell him this old fool still has a few words to kick in.
Well, yeah, I will definitely do that.
Good. And when you get here, I don't know if I'll be waiting just yet, but I'll be getting ready.
Okay. I'm still super confused.
Yes,
I'm saying it's out of character, by the way.
That's fine.
I'm still super confused.
it's fine. I can tell. Everything will become clear as time develops. Yes. Yes, there are people there who will explain the entire situation to you. So, you go ahead and do what you need to do. Finish up what you're doing. Should head in the rough direction of the sanctuary. You seem to know where it is, so that's perfectly fine.
I know the rough area of where it should be. There's only one issue with finding it. It's close to a place that seems to, I guess, warp time. You could say.
Oh, that's what Dippy's for.
Dippy?
Yes, she's my assistant. She controls the enchanted glade.
Ah, okay. So, would it be possible to see if she would allow me to find the place if I called out to her?
She'll take you there.
She will?
Yes, she's the
Okay.
friend I told to meet you.
I see.
Don't be a little bit surprised by her complexion, but don't question it. She is really nice at heart.
Well, to be honest, nothing really... complexion doesn't really bother me.
Ah, that's good. And you're like me then.
Okay.
All the same, I'll send you back to your home. I think you're at your home. Yes, you're at your home. I'll send you back there, and yes, enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon. Take as long as you need. I will probably be sleeping for another 4 months? No. 5 months. Yes.
From what I'm gathering, egg.
Yes, egg.
I see. Okay, makes sense. I'm putting pieces together already.
That's good. That means you understand, and everything else will become clear the moment you get there. So, yes. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. I believe one of your friends is slapping you at the moment. Bye-bye.
And you just watch as like the vision fades and you wake up and there's Bhold going, wake up, just slapping you on the face.
Alright, I'm gonna go get him.
Yeah, go get him.
This...
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
I kept trying
I
to
don't
click
like
on
that
it, more-
laugh.
I kept trying to click on it, but more people kept joining and I kept missing.
Oh, I love that voice. Alright. Oh, you don't worry.
It's me.
Sudz understands because it was a stupid voice.
Yes,
I'm gonna go watch this
and
stream
it
right
made
now.
everything so much worse.
So, as you're all preparing for the day with your cook, to hire your cooks or cook, the day's gone generally well. You are getting a few more people in, and as you're preparing to hire the individual, you watch as Malcom. He's made breakfast. He's prepared it on the table, and you watch as he gets up to walk back to the kitchen. You watch as he stops, pauses, and then collapses to the ground with a thud, hitting the surface of the wood and just falling unconscious.
Sasha immediately goes over and starts like medicine checking.
Yeah. Roll a medicine check.
Just a normal one?
Yeah.
Well, that was. I mean,
he's currently being possessed.
Okay.
Well. Okay.
Can I? Elsyan, I think this fits more your area. He's currently being possessed. Do I know anything to do with that, Chris?
No.
Like,
you do not.
Oh, if only I'd remember. If only I'd taken the time to put in my dispel magic.
Actually, no. With your 20, I would say you probably know that sometimes physical pain can solve possession. It loosens the grip on those possessing you.
Right, Elsyan, I need you to look inside his mind whilst I vigorously beat him with my hammer. No, I'm
Elsyan's
going-
to start looking into
Okay.
his mind.
What's like the most
I can.
painful thing I can, the most painful but
I
non-like
can.
damaging thing I can do to him?
Titty twister.
Tickle him.
Yeah, titty twister. I'm gonna titty twister the chest.
No. Crotch shot.
Oh no, that
Look,
would
look.
actually damage him.
We don't want to do anything that does lasting damage here. Come on.
Not to be quite fair,
Yeah,
even a light
Chris,
graze is
I'm
fucking
titty twisting.
agony.
I do hear you guys.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Chris,
Shut up, you're unconscious.
Chris, I'm removing his shirt and I am twisting his nipples
Okay, nothing happens.
painfully. Elsyan, anything?
Elsyan, as you attempt to invade his mind, you sense a massive well of magic, and as you look in, you just see a wall. It's a blank wall, and you know Malcolm's on the other side, but you can't get through it.
And it's like, nope, I'm out. I'm not even gonna. The last guy I knew who mind broke a wall ended up being possessed by a demon god. I'm out of here.
Okay. Elsyan, what happened? What's going on?
Wall. He built a wall, and the demons are paying for it.
It feels like the demons
don't
built the
think-
wall and now we're paying for it.
That too. You're welcome. I needed to get that joke in there the moment it mentioned. I'm sorry. I
Don't be
You
deserve
sorry.
should
It's
be.
fine.
Walls have been ruined forever.
No. He should definitely be sorry.
Just a mild
Um,
fence.
Actually, if I went down like half a mile down the other way, would it have just been like a low, like chest-high fence?
The mind
No,
dennies.
remember, some of the wall isn't a physical wall. Remember that.
Oh yes, there are snipers with rifles.
A mind White
Hundreds of
Castle.
snipers have rifles, to be honest.
No,
They'll be snipers, but they
finger
don't have guns.
Snipers who just point at people.
These babies can throw rocks for miles.
These babies can throw so many rocks.
So, what do you do?
I need to check my spell list quickly, because honestly, I don't think I have anything for this.
Mind thrust? Mind thrust.
Oh my.
Right, Elsyan, can you try and connect to his mind telepathically?
I try and set up a telepathic path.
Okay. You begin to try and set up a telepathic path, but as you do, it's blocked.
Yeah, nope, not happening. Nope, nothing I can do here.
Alright, I go up to Malcolm and start slapping him around.
Okay. You begin to slap him. Nothing seems to happen.
Now,
Slap,
before or
slap,
after you
slap.
put on your wife beater?
You begin to slap him again on the side of the face. At this point, Malcolm, you just wake up like, and there's like a whoosh across your face from Bhold.
Hey! What? No. What?
What
Ow!
happened?
Are you
Uh,
alright? You
thing-
collapsed.
And
Are
stuff.
you alive?
Yes. Alive. Things. Stuff. Too many big things. So confusing. Going to
Calm. No, you're talking to us. What the
bed. Malcolm's going to bed. Bye.
Sasha's grabbing him, not happening. Picking him up.
Make a strength check, each of you.
Oh, goodness.
I'm fairly certain you'll lose, Malcolm.
I am fairly
no,
certain
I-
I will lose also.
I could fuck up.
You
I don't fuck up.
I fuck.
It's a 0?
No, that. I think it's a 1.
It's a 1.
Against
Yeah, that's a 1.
an 18, all in all.
Yeah. It does that one thing where you like grab him by the scruff of the neck and he tries to like run with his arms flailing in front of him, but he doesn't go anywhere.
No,
Louis,
no,
Damn it.
no,
No.
no. Bad, Malcolm. Bad.
Leave me alone. I don't
What?
know what happened.
What just possessed you?
Also, what happened to your
Big
voice?
thing, gold stuff. I don't understand it.
Elsyan, mind him.
Minding him! I do you mean mind thrust? Or...
No.
Mind him! I just back away, just
Okay.
making sure there's nothing gonna do to me. Just go, what?
Okay.
Also
okay.
looking confused at Sasha.
Okay. Use your mind powers to try and take from his mind the idea of what just occurred to him, so that you can understand it. View his mind.
No, that's not how my powers work at all. I can't just invade someone's mind. I can assault it, I can break it, but I can't just, just go, la-di-da, walk in one day, like, oh yeah, this is a nice thought you're having.
Well, why not?
Wait, you can't do that?
Honestly, if I could do that, I would, but I can't. I mean, well, I wouldn't do it to you. I don't want to know what disturbed or depraved thoughts you have in there. But no,
I mean,
I cannot.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I could.
Well, no, he wouldn't.
No, I think he would.
No, I wouldn't. I'm just double checking that I don't have anything that can get into this. I don't think so.
I thought I'd at least give
The
you the
closest
chance
you
to
have
think.
is Forceful Query, which is when you form a telepathic bond and then proceed to force them to tell the truth.
But no, that I could actually no. Actually, I will do that anyway because I can try. If it does, because I can't see him, but I'll be able to see if he's alright or not. Or I doubt it.
Can you say the truth if he doesn't know what happened?
I think if he believes he's telling the truth, then he can say it. I believe that's it. It doesn't have to be universally true.
Since I notice it's coming, can I just resist it?
Not resist it or resist it.
Resist it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Resist that. Fine then. So
intelligence saving throw.
Yeah.
Can I jiggle him as
No.
it tries to try and make it harder for him?
No, I give him advantage if you do that.
That does not make actually. What's your intelligence?
My intelligence
save should be +4.
Intelligence save is +7.
+7, yeah.
So
he beats my DC. Cool.
Fuck, your intelligence save is 19 or +7.
Yeah, my intelligence save is +7.
Fucking hell, man.
That's a lot.
Druids have wisdom
That's
and
as much
intelligence
as me.
their saving throw. Yeah.
Damn.
That just shows I've got a -1 to charisma. Gotta remember that one.
Is that all you guys wanted?
There's nothing I can do to get into his mind. I'm sorry.
Look,
Actually, no, I'm not sorry.
You go to sleep now, but you are telling us what in the fuck happened there. Because you
I told you,
collapsed
I
and
don't
can't
understand.
have that.
I don't understand what happened.
Well, try and work it out as best you can, alright?
No.
I'm still
what I
carrying him and I'm
remember-
just like dragging him to his bed.
No. Can I do the thing that I sent you in a message, Chris?
Oh,
Scolding
hold
him
on.
like a child.
I missed it. Hold on. What did you say? Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Bloody well try.
And I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw, Sasha.
Well, okay, now maybe you can bloody well try.
And this is versus the attack roll. So that's a 17.
I kind of needed that 20 hit.
Nope.
Oh.
Malcolm, you watch as he does the basic incantation to cast Shallya and just trips you up.
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh, sorry. What did I say?
Shallya.
Shallya. No, Shillelagh. As you trip Sasha up, Sasha releases your grip and you fall onto your back.
How the hell does Shillelagh do that?
Bye.
He made it
Go
into
to
a
bed.
weapon so he could use his wisdom to trip you.
But what was he using?
His staff.
Okay.
He's not going to leave Lighthouse behind.
Does he not have to do like an attack roll to try and like hit me with it?
That was. That was, but it
And
worked against
going
your...
for your foot.
Yeah, he was going for your foot, and he was just hooking you up.
Yeah.
But then he falls with him.
Yes, I am still holding him. How
Yeah.
does this?
So,
how
yeah.
does this occur, Chris?
So Sasha falls back, tripping backwards. Malcolm kind of gets lifted up into the air. As you do, I'd like you to make a strength check to see if you can maintain your grip.
Oh goodness.
Nope.
Nope.
You let go. Malcolm, you just about managed to wiggle yourself free as you now stand on the first step, and Sasha's now on her back.
If you don't mind, I'm going back upstairs now.
We cannot have that happening mid-battle, otherwise you are going to die. And I'm not losing another... never mind. Go to bed.
I'm just gonna go up and contemplate what happened.
Yeah. Malcom goes up and sits on his bed. Proceeds to do the things you do as a kid, where you pretend to sleep, but then you're not doing that.
Yeah.
And proceeds to lie down. You all eat your breakfast and then you go about your day. After hiring your cook, and over the next few days, as you wait 2 days as time passes, you proceed to watch as the inn proceeds to, or the tavern proceeds to flourish in different ways. The individuals who come in seem to be taking it relatively positively. Quite a lot of people seem to be enjoying it, and your guards are generally enjoying what's going on. Same with Zuven. He's bringing quite a few customers, and over the course of the week, you pick up a few more individuals. You pick up a few more regulars as well, falling into the patron side of things, and they bring along a few of their friends, and they begin to enjoy themselves. The drinks being fairly cheap, they're pretty good. At 2 copper a piece, you're generally selling them relatively well. Food, what would you say you price it at, roughly?
What was it again?
Food.
Yeah.
So usually the average would be about 8 copper pieces.
Well, I guess it...
But a silver piece for your current establishment wouldn't go, looked at meanly.
Let's go a silver piece just for the round numberness of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's only 2 additional copper, and maybe we say that we can have some deals going on somewhere.
Yeah.
Like every Friday night, you get 2 drinks with your meal.
Yeah, something like that. So, as the week proceeds ahead of you, you all proceed to set yourselves up, and you proceed to prepare yourselves for the journey out of town. Malcom is not let out of the sight of Sasha for the entire time, so Malcom, you do not get away from everybody. You generally perform work as you do about the place and help out where you can, but you don't go doing too much on your own.
Yeah. I wanted to know, how many healing potions do I make?
With the amount you made, you would have 5, and then you have 24 gold's worth, 24 gold's worth of medical supplies, which you were going to give to the people.
I was gonna split some of it for myself and some of it for the people. So split 12 gold's worth for myself and 12 gold's worth for the people.
I see.
I sent you a message on Discord.
Okie doke. Okay, you go ahead and do so. Unfortunately, Tinkali is not so willing to come to the so willing to come to the bar. Redok is still out of town, but your friend Themizian is more than welcome to come to the bar. And seeing other Slitharians, he is very interested by this. And seeing as he's connected to the upper side, he does proceed to enjoy some of the drinks and proceeds to enjoy some of the establishment here. A few other individuals from the Under Tavern proceed to do the same, coming along with him, not necessarily by just a manner of kind of word of mouth, but more of choice. And as things go well, you proceed to watch your tavern flourish for the most part. So, we'll get to hiring the cook on the next session, and then you will be travelling out of town and down south towards the Enchanted Glade.
Ooh.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. What was that? How do I spell that last name again?
Of which one?
The one about the place that we just talked about.
Last name?
Then.
You'll have to message me afterwards, we'll deal with that then. It's fine. So, as time proceeds on, you've all leveled up, and you're all proceeding to get your bearings and preparing to leave town. So, we will call the session there. Apologies if my voice has been a little bit raspy throughout, but hopefully you enjoyed. If you have enjoyed, feel free to follow. We do this on every Sunday and every Thursday. Next Sunday will hopefully be no different, and the party will proceed to go on their adventures. And yeah, Thursday will also be interesting, as they are now a party member down after they died. So yeah.
Oh, did they die?
Yeah, they did.
No, one died.
Oh, but is it
What?
the one we were talking about previously?
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So
Talking about the Thursday campaign.
exactly. So if you're free on either of those days, feel free to come along and enjoy if you did so. I also have a YouTube side. Whether you watch that, I don't mind and or care. The YouTube side's just there for the archive side of things, so I have it all ready. Look, it's not there to bring in people. That's what Twitch is for. YouTube is there to have it all archived, so if somebody wants to go back and watch
YouTube's old hat now. It's all about the streaming.
Yeah, exactly. No,
YouTube is old new media.
I would in all honesty prefer to have Twitch. Anyway, I'm going on a deviated path. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and see you all in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.
Porn stars.
Monster.